Welcome to LoganRobo's channel, broadcasting live on twitch.tv/LoganRobo and on youtube.com/@LoganRobo. Tonight's game is Ace Attorney Investigations 2, Prosecutor's Gambit. Please be advised, tonight's stream will contain depictions of a villain who is a clown. Do not be alarmed though. Clowns in real life only desire to make you laugh, to delight audiences, and to feed off of your dreams to sustain their eternal souls. That's all. Thank you for tuning in to twitch.tv/LoganRobo and youtube.com/@LoganRobo. Please enjoy the stream. And we are live! How is everybody doing? I see that Atlantic was here, first on Twitch with a hey, how you doing, Atlantic? And then there's Queen Katie as well. Oh, ooh, we got a new background, huh?
Oka, Magpie Flyman. How we doing, chat? This Burb is here.
Welcome, Burb! Welcome, Magpie! How are you doing? Thank you so much for re-upping the sub at 13 months. That's over a year and well on your way to your second subscription, baby. But how are you doing, Magpie? I love how that your little kind of drawing of a bird using letters is just TTS Girl. It says O, just O. But thank you so much, Magpie, for re-upping the sub. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. I'm doing all right. I got a haircut yesterday. I think it might still be a little bit too short. I always feel like whenever I get a haircut, it takes like a couple of days to grow into it. So I'm sorry if I look weirdly proportioned. But thank you, Magpie! Quickity saying howdy, hanging on mobile while I farm stuff on P5X. Does P5X require like a lot of dailies and grinding and things like that? Because that's one thing I always hate about mobile games and gacha type of games is like the dailies that you have to do. But I guess as long as it's fun. Are you having fun? That's what matters, Queen Katie. Atlantic says, on time, finally. I know I was like a little bit later than usual. I decided before the stream, I was like finally gonna catch up a little bit on the artwork channel on Discord. And took a little bit longer than I expected, but there's some really good artwork in that channel. For those who haven't been checking it out, you need to go see it. There's our new friend from a raid a couple of streams ago, Cozy, made a, wait, was it Cozy or Comfy? I hope I'm not saying it wrong. It is an adjective referring to a state of warm and pleasant comfort. She drew a fan art of me and Gallica, and it's so adorable. It's so freaking adorable. I should take a look over on YouTube. See, Jack says, finale today, I can feel it. It's possible. If it's anything like the last Edgeworth Investigations game, I feel like, oh crap, I just realized the AC just turned off. Oh, it's gonna get really hot in here. I might need to at some point run and like crank it up a little bit. I might need to, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, like the last Edgeworth Investigations game, the last stream we did was so long because I thought, I'm totally at the ending. It's gonna be there. So we're gonna go until either we end or we get to the 3-hour mark and then kind of evaluate things there, but possibly. Valtube said, we're catching Simeon with this one. And Jack says, Buff Phoenix forever. Valtube says, Petty forever. Toby says, hi, Logan. Toshi says, hi, how are all of you? I love that we're like starting to develop not just the Twitch community, but a YouTube community. And I loved that for the celebration stream, the 1K celebration, there was like crossover on the on-screen chat. So, oh, speaking of which, did you guys see? Because like I reached 1K and that's what we celebrated. I log into Twitch today and suddenly I'm at 1.1. Okay, I'm assuming it's rounding up. So we probably didn't get like a full 100 followers since I reached 1K. It's probably like, you got over 50 and we're rounding up to make you feel good. But watch, now that I said that, we'll like lose a follower. Somebody will lose their Twitch account and it'll go back down. But it's exciting. It is exciting. Let me read a couple more comments in the Twitch chat. Queen Katie said, I finally got the cutest Phantom Thief, and she made me broke because I ran out of in-game money while leveling her up. But is she worth it? I actually have no idea what all the different characters are. I know I saw a picture of a character in P5X that reminded me of kind of like post-time skip Chie, and so that was nice. Cypher says, hey Chad, how you doing, Cypher? Queen Katie said also, Simeon Saint Heart. Cypher said, playing the new Donkey Kong game, chat. How is it? It looks fun. Magpie says, sooner or later I'll have to send pictures of these subscription hatchling. Oh, that's right, because you're, as a magpie, it's gonna be a little baby bird. Well, that's adorable. Although sometimes when baby birds are first hatched, they look a little bit weird if they're all like bald and stuff, but then they become adorable. But I'm gonna be honest, like human babies sometimes look a little weird when they're very first born. They look like wrinkly old people that are just really tiny. Cypher says, if you wanna play on TW, no, but if you do it with global, yeah, because the devs suck and keep making all the rewards on global lower. It's such BS. Oh yeah, I saw some that there's like P5X is getting bad reviews because of something like that. Let's load up the game. I can't remember exactly where we left off last time. I went to try and review things. I had enough time to kind of remind myself what voice we were doing for Simeon Saint, and that was about it. And then we will read some more in the chat. So we're at the Mastermind's true face. We gotta find where that save is. Where is that? Is it at the bottom? Could I have just gotten there immediately by pressing up instead? It is. So let's go ahead and load up the game. Kugita said, yeah, but I've been hanging in there as a free-to-play player. Said, Logan, do you want to know how many testimonies we have left? Let's hold off for now. Like, if we get to the halfway point of the stream and it feels like, wait, this is the wrong one. This isn't. Hang on. Did I not save after? I totally must have saved, right? Oh, there it is. No, where is it? Mastermind's true face. Oh, it's because they're all episode 5, and so I got confused. I clicked the wrong one. At least this time it wasn't, once again, Tangaroa staring us down, wondering why we're looking at that one. I'm not good at finding the right one to load up. Here we are. So what? Oh, that's right. We found that the blue truck that was outside of the Big building, which was used to kidnap Sean, was also used to transport the hot air balloon. And so we have to prove it's the same truck as the one that Simeon Saint used. What can I use to prove it's the same truck? And it's gonna be fingerprint dusting. We jokingly tried the metal detector one last time, but it's fingerprint dusting. I'd like to have the truck dusted for fingerprints. I feel like his voice should be different when he's looking like this. So yeah, so before, because like his normal voice was just kind of like this and everything, but then we just went down here talking like this. But then when the again, are they squirrels or chipmunks? I always felt like chipmunks have short tails, but they've got stripes like chipmunks. Why would you want to do that? Because I expect to find a certain very specific set of prints. And if I do, that will prove beyond all doubt that it's the truck we saw in front of the Big building. Whose prints will prove it was the truck we saw? Is it gonna be Sean's or something? Miles Edgeworth, Simeon Saints, a lot of hearts. Okay, it being Simeon Saints won't prove anything because we're testing the truck that he says are. We got to prove that it was at the Big building. Did we ever touch it? Did Lana ever touch it? I don't remember. Crap, last stream, did we have a quick flashback of him touching it? I'm gonna say ours. I think we touched it. Yours. You think you're going to find your own prints on there? I do, because I put my hand on your truck when I saw it in front of the Big building. Okay, we chose the right thing. Let's see what we can find, shall we? Emma, could you lend us your scientific skills one more time?
That's why I'm here. One moment, please. Already. Take it away, Mr. Edgeworth.
Huh? Well, me?
Of course. Who else did you think was gonna do it? You're the player character. I can't do anything on my own. Don't worry, it's easy. I'll show you how.
Fine, although I don't see why you can't do it yourself.
So just spread the powder over the area you want to search for prints, like this. Move the cursor around and pressing space will allow me to dust the area with powder.
Oh, that was Edgeworth. Moving the cursor around and pressing space will allow me to dust with powder.
You stick to fingerprints, so once you found one, make sure to dump plenty on there. and then blow away the excess.
Blow it away.
Yeah, with your mouth. You know, is the thing that you and Phoenix Wright allegedly do together. Ha, hoo, hoo, like that.
So where's the truck? Blowing with tea should remove any excess powder.
All right, you got all that?
Yes, thank you. Now to try it for real.
Oh, there's no such thing as too much powder, by the way. Go crazy.
We can't run it. What are we dusting on? I don't see a truck. Is it invisible? What are we dusting? I'm gonna read a couple more comments to the chat because I'm confused. As I guess we just dust everything here. I don't know. Let's see. Crystal, how you doing? Crystal said rewatched 3 Omori VODs. Oh my gosh, I forgot. My name was Crystal Snow _ Shuri. Oh yeah, because did they have the on-screen chat back then? I can't remember. But how you doing, Crystal? Quickett said, isn't that your Discord name, lol? Crystal laughing, and then says, yeah, I forgot the Shuri part though, laughing. Eggland said, I had a cursed thought, and now I have to draw it. It'll be in Discord soon. Oh, I love cursed artwork. How you doing, Eggland? Cyber says, it's great. Asked my mom to get me it randomly, and she bought it within the hour. I love her so much. She's goated for that. Wait. To buy what? What was it that buying? Oh, Donkey Kong Bonanza. That's what it was. Oh, we got a pin message written by Castle. How you doing, Castle? Pinned by Crystal saying there's clearly something on the dusting screen. Oh, it minimized. Hang on. The dusting screen, but Edgeworth is green-red colorblind. Edgeworth, he's the opposite of Godot. Okay, so instead of not being able to see red, Edgeworth only sees green. So he doesn't know why when Mr. Thief, instead of Little Thief, goes crazy that everyone's like, why is it green, Edgeworth? This is what everything already looks like. How you doing, Castle? I should read some more over on YouTube as well. Let's see. Valtube said, don't worry, Logan, the final battle is not even near as long as the Alba one. Because, yeah, that one was, we were 5 minutes away from, was it 5 minutes or 1 minute? I can't remember if we were close to 6 hours or 7 hours. It was a long stream. I'm sure it's on YouTube in the VODs playlist somewhere, so you can check it, but wow, it went so long. Jack said, this ending isn't nearly as ridiculously long as AAI 1's. Dermot said, glad to make it to the stream, so excited. How you doing, Dermo? Opinion, with a message retracted, said, wow, the first message is a typo. Great start, me. Well, I'm sure whatever it was delightful, including the typo. Dermot says, hello, everyone. How you doing, Dermo? Opinion says, good evening, everyone. How you doing, Opinion? Jack says, Logan, we need to sound at least the slightest bit psycho, especially in this laughing animation. Okay, so when he's juggling the chipmunks, or when he's laughing, he'll get a little bit unhinged. Sound fair? Dermot said, imagine if a lot of heart was the key to the case. That'd be the worst. That'd be the worst thing. The worst thing ever. I will read some more over on YouTube in a second, but I also should check a couple more on Twitch. I'm already behind in both chats. Crystal posted a link tree there, and then Quiggity said, wrong save. You saved it as Simeon Saint testimony. Tony says, hey, yo, Logan, how you doing, Tony? Welcome. I still need to go and watch all of the YouTube shorts they posted of the podcast episode that you had me on for. How are you, Tony? Kim says, streamly, check it in hydration reminder. I'll do that right now. By the way, Logan, I'm getting closer to catching up on my video backlog and finally finishing up the first part of our collab a while back. No, it hasn't been linear, literal months. Time is a concept. Well, especially like when you're over in Germany. I think that's where you're from. You're in Europe somewhere, right? Like that's a different time than right now. It's crazy. Like right now it's 8 o'clock p.m. It's some other time there. It's probably like 1943 over. No, crap. No, that's the worst time to be in Germany. I'm sorry. I just picked a random date. That is not a good time to be in Germany. I did not mean that as an insult. I am so sorry, Kim. Let's forget I accidentally said that. I just was like picking literally a random number out of my head. I'm dumb. I'm gonna have a sip of water and that is not what, I'm just gonna have a sip of water. I'm sorry, Kim. You're awesome. I am so sorry. I'm sorry. I was just like, I'll pick a random date. We'll do something 20th century, 19, what is it gonna be? I don't know, maybe the 30s, maybe the 50s, and I'll split the difference. That's what my brain did. I am so sorry. I actually feel really bad about that. Let's dust for Prince here. We're just gonna start dusting everything. We don't have any, like, what are the other games? Which was it? Was it Apollo Justice, where we had a jar that had only so much dusting stuff? We could just dust everything. We're gonna start like it's a jigsaw puzzle, and we're gonna go around the entire perimeter, just dusting everything. If I do two-handed, look at this is a two-handed skill. Yeah, oh, I'm so good at this. But yes, I am so sorry, Kim. part of me kind of hopes that Kim had already left before I actually said that dumb thing. I don't know how to talk to people. I am bad at everything. Look at this, we're turning the entire game into light mode. Hey, you guys are gonna get to know the wonders of bright lights shining in your face as you're trying to watch a stream. Queen said, Logan, lol, they put a flashback before that moment. I know, I should have checked what the flashback was. That's a problem. When the last time we played this game was like a week ago, because the last Ace Attorney, what would have been an Ace Attorney stream, was taken up with our big celebration stream. Queen said, I feel so bad, and not as bad as I felt about that little faux pas a moment ago. Eglin saying, do I keep this art just as lines or color it? I mean, you could post both, I think. Let's see. Oh, there's just one fingerprint. One giant fingerprint right in the middle. They did not try with this mini game. Why even do that if that's what it's gonna be? Just one right in the center. I mean, I guess Edgeworth remembers where he touched the truck, but still.
That's it. That's a nice clean print you got there, huh?
I forgot there was stream today and I didn't get the notification. What is happening on?
Wait, the notification didn't go out? Hang on, I gotta, was it there, boo, thank you. Oh, 50 bits! That was 50 bits, it wasn't even a beef long, and thank you, Oak. Let me check, I see a Discord notification at least went out, I think. I am so sorry, how are you doing? Well, we had to dust for Prince, and the game made the mini game for that as unimmersive as possible. And I said something very stupid that I feel really bad about, Oak, but you got here after that. So, and I also, like I said, I may have to leave the room for a second to crank up the AC because it is getting very hot and it turned off a minute ago and I don't know why that happened. But thank you very much for the 50 bits, Oak!
That's it. That's a nice clean print you got there.
Can we compare it to my Prince right away?
Yep, leave it to me. Comparing. Oh, that's the sound of a comparison. That confirms it. It's Mr. Edgeworth's print, all right.
And with that, another lie is exposed. Ah! Well, why is he holding two rabbits? I've also heard that in real life you shouldn't hold rabbits by the ear. That seems cruel. I'm starting to think this guy is a bad person. So, what were you doing in the truck? Oh, it's this thing again. His portable armrest. I mean, it's a sentient armrest, but it's probably very soft and fluffy, but he probably also gets a lot of fur on the underside of his arm. You gotta have like a lint roller. Oh, just driving around. For fun, you know. Objection! Kay was abducted 2 nights ago. And your balloon was sighted nearby. Then today, another abduction, this time involving a truck supposedly used to transport garbage. And your truck was sighted nearby. Objection. Objection. Oh, that's right, because he impersonates everybody's voices, right? Coincidence, nothing more. You want me to believe that you were near the scene of 2 separate abductions simply by chance? Just be honest. You were involved in both. Yeah, that's right. You know, if you're honest now, we'll let you off with a warning. Just don't kidnap and kill anymore. But you have to be honest. What makes you think they were even connected? Is that slightly unhinged? Do we need to go more unhinged than that? A certain very important piece of evidence, that's what. Hang on, save, because I don't know what we're talking about. I am not paying enough attention to the game here. I don't know what piece of evidence Edgeworth is going to ask for. And once we get some music again, I'll read some more comments in the chat. Oh, this should be good. What connects Kay and Sean's abductions? I don't know. I'm going to read some more in the chat and then we'll figure this out. Queen Katie says, fun fact, I was playing this game on a, in quotes, legitimate DS when I got to this part, as you know with Emma, on the DS you blow to the mic for this part, but for reasons I could not blow into the mic, it took a good minute to figure out how to go around for this. I gotta love a last minute near blocked by the game for me. Oh, could you not use the mic because it was a legitimate copy? Said, wait a minute, Emma, you said that we have unlimited powder here. What about your other games? Well, those ones, like, the other ones take place in the future when she's using the powder, right? So maybe this is why she has a limited supply, because Edgeworth wasted so much, and so she only allows Apollo and Phoenix to use a little bit. Crystal said, dust the green screen. Castle says, there's clearly something on the dusting screen. Oh, that was a pin earlier, but Edgeworth is red-green colorblind. Queen Katie says, blue truck, though. Eglin said, the art is there. I am not coloring this. I can't. I am looking forward to seeing what this cursed art is. Over on YouTube, Valtube said, dust everywhere! Dermot says, we must dust the Matrix. Toshi says, we're creating some white powder memories right now. And then Crystal posted a link tree. Yeah, if anyone's lurking over on YouTube, that link tree there has all my social medias with Discord, invite link, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, all of that, all the things. Crystal says, hello chat, Lata as the key. Dermot says, anyone know what the purple crowns with numbers next to them mean? I think that those are, because that's a new addition to the YouTube chat. I think what that is they're ranking the top 3 people who've posted the most in the chat so far. I don't know if it's the most number of things posted or the longest. I don't know how it works, but I think that's what it is. And I don't know if it's like per stream or if it's like per week or something. Jack says, most comments, I think. Toby said, I wonder how Emma lost her bag of infinite white powder. Toshi said, with this logic, Edgeworth are literally spotted in every crime scene to ever happen. Derma says, I feel like for every year there exists a country where it's a faux pas. I can think of a few times media has mentioned a seemingly random date, which means something here. I know, I just feel bad. Like, of all the dates, and all the countries. I'm sorry, Kim. I hope Kim doesn't hate me now. Crystal says, it resets per stream. Oh, okay. And Toby says, per stream. Per stream, indeed. And on Twitch, Queen Katie said, also, I'm here on PC now. I was able to level up my gal at max level for now, ... Now! Okay, but Queen Katie, which free-to-play game do you like more right now? P5X or Pretty Derby? I said, oh, wait, did Logan answer my question earlier about if he wants to know the testimonies? For the number of testimonies, I said, let's wait till we're at halfway through the stream, and then we'll see where we're feeling at that point. We'll take like a moment to figure out how far we are, if that makes sense. Is that okay? Castle says, 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue truck. Well, I mean, Dr. Seuss could have used other things that rhymed with truck, but then it wouldn't be a children's book anymore. Castle. And Queen Katie said, I missed it when I changed platforms, and a timestamp 1414. I am less than 10 minutes behind. Granted, we're only a little over 20 minutes into stream, but I still feel accomplished. Okay, what connects Kay and Sean's abductions? We got the Autograsu pin, a letter written by an unknown person claiming to be Kay, the big building. I mean, I guess that kind of connects them. Sean was abducted from the big building, and Kay was taken to the big building. Creature feature flyer, monster footprints, President Wang's autopsy report, Torosaurus head. The Torosaurus plushie belonged to President Wang, can record and play back sound. I don't think there was anything really in there, was there? The behind-the-scenes photo, the movie set locks, security camera footage. Ms. Hart's statement was at the 51st floor storeroom the night before last, but didn't see the president pass through. The blue truck parked in front of the big building, drivers nowhere to be found. Sean's rehearsal tape filmed yesterday showed Sean rehearsing by a monster footprint. Mechanic's gloves, Excelsius winner wore these when digging through the monster footprints. Case info for the IS-7 incident report on Knight. A report from Warden Lagarde, chairman winner, about the connection between Knight and Canis. Knight's possessions, a pocket chess set, and a ring Knight made from his father's signature stamp. Bug, the person in the red raincoat, planted this inside Kay's Yatagarasu pin. I mean, I guess that connects them because, like, the kidnapper planted the bug, but I don't know how that would... I don't know if we're trying to incriminate Simeon Saint or just to show that the two abductions are connected. Ms. Lloyd's tape recording of signals were intercepted from the bug that was planted in Kay's pin. The bouquet of lion lilies given to President Wang by Judge Gavel, recovered from the top of his body by Sean, said it... Oh, here we go! Used up both Kay and Sean during their kidnapping! Okay, this has got to be it, right? So, maybe... I was gonna say maybe Simeon Saint's fingerprints would be on it, but he'd probably be smart enough to use gloves. We did just save, I think. So let's try presenting the sedative. Kay was drugged with a dose of a powerful sedative, and a bottle of sedative was found right where Sean was being held captive. The very same brand, no less. Objection. I knew you'd try something like this. So the same sedative was used, so what? Does that mean everything's connected? You know as well as I do that that doesn't prove anything for sure. Ah! We must have something There must be a piece of evidence that can tie him to both crimes. Cops, prosecutors, you, Miles, you're all the same at the end of the day. You force the evidence to fit the crime, or you flat out make it up, just as long as somebody goes to jail. You're no different from a certain other evidence tamperer we've had the misfortune of meeting. Wait, did Simeon Saint meet Manfred von Karma? Because I know that he was involved in the IS-7 incident, but I didn't get the impression. Did the kids ever meet Manfred? Objection! No! I'm nothing like him! Oh, although I do still dress like him. That's weird. For the first time in my life, I've realized that is strange.
Objection!
Then show me. Hit me with your killer piece of evidence. You must have one, right? Ah! It's no use. We don't have anything that can tie him directly to both kidnappings. We only need to tie him to one. We know the... Okay. Okay, you done there, Miles. No more cheap shots left to fire. Great. Well, I have a show to be rehearsing for, so if you don't mind...
Objection!
Is that real? Oh, that was Fender.
Hey, come on now, you two. There's no need to get all hot under the collar. Wouldn't want your good looks running down your face now, would we, Simeon, old pal?
What are you sticking your nose in for?
Hey, I just sensed the vibe. Getting a little harsh and heavy, yeah? Thought I had to lighten the mood. Come on, Kay. Where's Kay? I'm gonna try and get her to give me an inappropriate hug again.
I'm gonna read some more in the chat. Tony says, am good. Built a new bookcase for GameCube games. Oh, that's awesome. I need to upgrade my Nintendo Online so I can play GameCube Online stuff, because I don't own a GameCube or any GameCube games. I don't know how much those things run for on the secondary market. I do have a couple of old retro consoles, but I feel like I can't really play the cartridge-based games that have saves, because I think they're operated with a small battery inside the cartridge, which is probably dead since these are games that came out in the 80s, 90s, something like that. Eglin says, Logan! Crap, that's gotta be when I said that thing. Kim says, 1943 is wild laughing. I am so sorry, Kim. Quiggy said, Logan, of all the numbers, sir. Atlantic says, Logan. Kim says, only worst one would have been 1939. I'm so sorry. Quiggy said, that's like if you were Nintendo and you were planning on releasing something on November 9th, but had the date flipped. Oh, it should be 9/11. Well, because other countries, when they write the date, they usually say the other way around. Crystal says, out of all dates laughing, are we slowly getting flashbanged? Oh, okay, so we're moving on. We're now just talking about the fingerprint powder. Quiggy said, this is real, by the way. There was an entire billboard for this date for a game release. They didn't execute it well. Okay, speaking of Nintendo doing things, Nintendo has messed up before when they haven't, fully realized, American English-speaking culture. Do you guys remember there was, it was maybe a year, 2 years ago, something like that, within the past couple of years, and I don't know if it was on Nintendo's TikTok or the official Pokemon TikTok, but one of them posted a clip using the audio that somebody had made of the song, If You're Happy and You Know It, Clap Your Hands, but they were saying, if you're mother effing happy and you mother effing know it, clap your mother effing hands. And I'm censoring. They said the F word. If you're mother effing happy and you mother effing know it, clap your mother effing hands. And they had Pikachu clapping along to that audio on the official. And it was a Pikachu, a person dressed in Pikachu doing it. Because of course they don't know that it just sounded delightful and whimsical. They didn't know that that's R-rated for their wonderful little children's game. Atlantic said, light mode starts burning like a vampire in sunlight. Crystal says, Ash baby memes. Nora said, sorry, me and Oak are here. Welcome, Nora and Oak. How are the two of you? And Eglind says, V. And Nora said, we got distracted reading Yuri. Did you both get distracted reading Yuri, or did you get distracted reading Yuri? And Oak got distracted with you telling Oak about the Yuri that you were reading. I should read over on YouTube again. Crystal says, the more you chat, the more you receive experience. The higher the experience, the higher the rank. Duba said, longest message, be right back. I'm going to copy and paste War and Peace right now. Oh, good old Tolstoy. There aren't that many effective sedatives out there, even fewer which ordinary people can get their hands on. It's a really loose connection. I mean, the idea of a sedative that really fully knocks someone just out. I think movies and TV have done a lot of things to give people misconceptions about, A, how difficult it really is to knock someone out. So many times they're ha, ka-cha, hit someone over the back of the head, and they're just knocked out. If you hit someone hard enough to KO that person probably has brain damage. And it's really bad. And that and the other thing is like silencers on guns. I always hate when you watch like, what was the one John Wick movie where him and the one other guy they were trying to shoot were like walking, one's like up on the balcony and the other was down there, and they're just like pew, 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 with a little silencer in each other. There's a big crowd of people and they totally don't know what's happening. It's like, no, silencers, like, it just makes it so the gunshots are not quite so loud that they damage your hearing. They're still very loud. Oh crap, there's a clip in the chat. It's gonna be the thing I said, isn't it? Oh, why? Maybe I'll need to come back to that clip in a second. But let me read the last two comments, or 2 or 3 comments on YouTube. Valtube says, talking about Nintendo, I'm replaying Mario plus Rabid, and it says peak as I remember. I've never played that. No, the Rabid games, they're like a spin-off of, is it Rayman? Or one of those? And wasn't Rayman also in a very R-rated thing on Netflix? It was something laser, something or other. Dermot says, for years I thought November 9th was the tragic date because of the EU dates. Oh, that makes sense. Said Mario plus Rabbids is so good. Yeah, we'll come back to this clip in a second here. To give us more time to forget that I said such a foolish thing. All right. Hey, I just sensed the vibe getting a little harsh and heavy. Yeah, thought I ought to lighten the mood. Help me out here, Kay. Lift our spirits with a little dose of the old great thief magic. Okay, so he's for once in his life, he's not asking the underage girl for a hug. Wait, does he want her to steal something from Simeon or to pull out Little Thief and make a recreation of something?
You don't have to tell me twice. Okay, let me see if I can do Simeon's voice. Here it goes. Objection. Because his voice is deep.
What are you? Take this seriously, will you?
I thought you could do with somebody running a little interference for you, Milester. Not the most ethical approach, I know, but again, Kay, again.
What are we doing? We can worry about whether or not this is the right thing to do later. This is my last chance to try and prove a connection between Mr. Saint and his crimes. Okay, so that was just to give Edgeworth a chance to think of something. It sounded like they were trying to unlock his phone with a verbal passkey or something. Let's forget the kidnappings for now. Is there anything else that suggests that he is our mastermind? Maybe. Let's say the chess set, perhaps? With the Paul Halik ring? I don't know. Oh. Of course! Canis was looking for our secret string puller too, the young pup, as he called him. If I could prove that Mr. Saint was the same young pup, then perhaps... I mean, I guess you could have... do you think Canis would be willing to testify in court? But what evidence do I have that might point to him being involved behind the scenes? Again, my gut reaction is going to be the chess set, but we'll read over everything soon. But first, we got to load up this clip, as much as I don't want to. For anyone who's lurking or doesn't know the rules, whenever someone posts a clip into the chat, we'll load it up on the clip viewer so we can watch it together. This one, I'm going to be very embarrassed about, I can tell already, because I have a feeling I know what it is, but we will check out this clip together. And we'll also have a timestamp to see how far behind I am in the Twitch chat. 18 minutes! Not bad at all. This clip is titled... The immediate backpedaling. Yep. Well, especially like when you're over in Germany. I think that's where you're from. You're in Europe somewhere, right? Like that's a different time than right now. It's crazy. Like right now it's 8 o'clock p.m. It's some other time there. It's probably like 1943 over. No, crap. No, that's the worst time to be in Germany. Germany. I'm sorry. I just picked a random date. That is not a good time to be in Germany. I did not mean that as an insult. I am so sorry, Kim. Let's forget I actually... I still feel really bad about that. I was just pulling a random date, a random year date out of thin air. And it just happened to be the worst. I am so sorry. And now it's immortalized forever in a clip. Oh boy. Oak says, but thank you very much, Glenn, for the clip nonetheless. Oak says, I think it was just me. Quickita said, Oak, this is why you also set a notification for the YouTube stream like I do. Captions, we had to dust for prints. It's like the Animaniacs joke about fingerprints. Oak said, what did Logan say? Quiggin said, Germany in the wrong date/numbers. I want to be those rabbits. Oak said, oh, wait, you want to have Simeon Saint yanking on your ears, holding you up by that? Oak says, Katie. Nora said, what did I miss? Who is this? Quiggin said, Simeon Saint, my beloved. Oak said, bro, did you miss a Simeon Saint reveal? What the F? Nora, you missed everything. Nora said, that's Simeon Saint. Yes, Simeon Saint is evil. He's secretly evil and a clown, but clowns are delightful. But speaking of that, we need to tie him to this. So, but what evidence do I have that might point to him being involved behind the scenes? Okay, so you had aggressive pin, forged letter, big building, creature feature flyer, monster footprints, Wang autopsy, Torosaurus head, Torosaurus plushie. I can't remember. I wish we could remind ourselves what the recording said. Behind the scenes photo, movie set lock, security camera footage, Ms. Hart statement, blue truck, Sean's rehearsal, mechanic gloves, IS7 case file. I mean, that could be it because we can tie him to being, one of the two kids from that report on Night. The pocket chest, that was delivered to Night by Simeon Saint. So, that's possible. The bug, Ms. Lloyd's tape recording of signals intercepted, the bouquet, sedative, SS5 incident case file, 12-year-old incident in which President Wang was kidnapped and the sole witness was murdered. Was there anything in here? Occurred February 10th, 12 years ago. President Zhengfa was kidnapped and ransomed for $100 million. President's presence at embassy until midnight confirmed by De Long Lang. Prosecutor Celsius winner, suspect Fifi Lagarde. President Wang's supposed kidnapping was enacted in order to cover up the murder of the real Wang. Witness Al Faldown was killed, his body moved, and a photograph of the kidnapping staged as part of the plan. The crime was carried out by Wang's body double, Excelsius winner, and Fifi Lagarde. The fire. One of the children set the orphanage yard on fire as a prank sometime during the evening before the incident, but there's no real proof tying that to Simeon. Victim was struck in the head and died around 1 a.m. February 10th. Button clutched in Aldown's right hand. A staged photograph taken after Aldown was killed. Message left on Rosie Ringer's phone detailing what Aldown saw. Victim's shoes, not actually Aldown's shoes, appeared in place of the culprit, blah, blah, blah. Left the scene 12 years ago. The blood wasn't Aldown's. Could the child's drawing? A picture drawn by a child who caused a fire during the incident 12 years ago. It depicts what he saw the night of the incident. Is there anything in here that would suggest that this was drawn by Simeon? Did he sign it? Because he forgot his real name. Well, no, but at this point he'd probably be calling himself Simeon. But I don't see a signature. There is the little animal things, but they're just playground equipment. Oh, this is what it is. The chess diagram letter from Candace retyped by the mastermind and then sent on to Bronco Knight. It's got to be this, right? Because this shows that there had to be a middleman between Knight and Canis. And since he was the one that delivered the chess set, it's got to be him, right? So let's just check everything else to be sure. Hot air balloon. Smaller balloon used for promotional purposes. Saint is in charge of it and drives it around on the back of a truck. Do we get a closer look at it? Yeah. Okay. We did save. I think we saved. Let's try the correspondence chess diagram.
Take that!
I think you and Mr. Knight were both communicating with this person, Mr. Caddis. And that same person might well be our secret string puller. That's right. Our mastermind was involved in Caddis and Knight's correspondence chess exchanges. If I can prove that Mr. Saint was the hidden intermediary between the two of them... All right, that's enough. This is getting painful. You don't have anything, and I have to practice for the show. So if you don't mind...
Objection!
Thank you, Mr. Fender. I can take it from here, and I can't take any more of your interventions. Well, what if you get an addiction? We care about you, Miles. Miles Areno. Miles Prower. Milesy Smilesies. Oh, just look at that face. Yeah, I like it. Miles Areno's back in the game for sure.
I'm Simeon, the funny clown. Look at me, I'm juggling. I'm juggling chipmunks or something.
Okay, you can stop now. Mr. Saint, you're a fan of chess, I take it. Oh, crap. Wait, no. Have we done all the mind chesses? We've done all the mind chesses. Oh, yeah, because we're talking about the chess set. That's right. So I got panicked for a split second. Let me read a couple more comments in the chat, though. Let's see. Nora said, that's Simeon Saint. Quigita said, yeah, he's the mastermind. Nora said, I was on vacation. What? Quigita said, he may have murdered, but I love him. Okay, that's how you feel about, Danganronpa characters. I would say who specifically
but it would be spoilers for Nora. Let's see. Oak says you missed the biggest spoiler clip spam of all time, and a pizza party. What's that? Oh, we just got a follow from Gene. Shirato, love her. That's the Gene from Persona 3, right? I think that's his last name. I don't think they said it very often, but I'm pretty sure that's him, right? Oh, welcome, Gene. Which do you prefer the pronunciation of, Jin or Gene? I guess that's probably hard to type out, but welcome. Since you're new, let me give you the quick rundown of the channel. We stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays. We're currently alternating between this game, Ace Attorney Investigations 2 Prosecutor's Gambit, and Metaphor Refantasio, which, if you like Persona, it is a JRPG from the makers of the Persona series. It's basically a Persona game, but set in like a fantasy type of a setting with like magic and dragons and stuff like that. It's really good. So I'd love to hear how you found the channel here. I'm assuming maybe you've been checking out the Persona 3 shorts that I've been posting on YouTube, perhaps? But welcome! Oh, and also, let me post here, and I don't know if somebody already did this, but here is our link tree that includes all of our social media stuff, a Discord invite link, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, no Instagram. That's not on there, because I don't really use that. Not much anyway. Feel free to check them out or ignore them. And one last thing to let you know, I read every comment in chat, but I'm always very far behind. Right now, I'm probably like a good 15 to 20 minutes behind in chat. So if you've written something, I will read. In fact, let me scroll down to the bottom and see if you have written anything, because I've got an overlay here that I can go to. Oh, there we go. Yes, Jin says hi. And YouTube, well, welcome. I hope you enjoy your time here. We are, in fact, multi-streaming here and on YouTube. So I should check the YouTube chat as well, because I'm probably a little bit behind there. But again, welcome. I hope you enjoy your time here. Fair warning, a big difference between the shorts and here is that I waste half the stream just yapping with chat. So I hope you don't mind that. But yeah, let me take a look over at the YouTube chat real quick and make sure I'm all caught up there. Jerma says, oh, I read that. Thanatos says, hello, how you doing, Thanatos? Said I almost missed the maybe finale. Lol. It could be, oh, that's the other thing I should tell Jin or Gene. Again, I don't know how you prefer the pronunciation. I'm gonna keep saying Gene because I kind of prefer that. If you've never played this game, we're like in end game spoiler territory. If you don't mind, feel free to stick around. But if you're planning on playing this game, you might want to step out if you were trying to avoid spoilers. But I'd love to have you here. Thank you again for the follow. Jack says, hey, Thanatos. Thanatos says, hi. Yes, Thanatos, I'm glad you were able to make it here. Chaos says hi. Wait, Chaos, have you been here before? I'm trying to think of if we've seen someone with Chaos written with a 4 like that. No, because we have our friend Chaotic. So unless Chaotic did another username change. How are you doing, Chaos? So were you here for when I gave Gene the rundown of the channel? So welcome. How are you doing? Valtube says, I love Kay's intimidating simian voice. Thank you, Valtube. Derma says, an intervention for the white powder issues. Oh crap, I should have made a joke about that. Oh, Dermo, you are on the ball. Valtube says, sadly, Simeon doesn't have a mind chess section. I'm just glad that we're done with that. Oh, I heard what happened. Oh, I see at the very bottom again because I haven't scrolled back up. Gene is saying, I'm Chaos, by the way. Okay, so you're on both. So I should ask you then, I would ask which you'd prefer to be called by, but we already have someone named Chaotic, so maybe just for the sake of less confusion, I'll still call you Gene. But okay, well, welcome. I read both chats. I feel like I read Twitch chat more often, but YouTube chat is less busy, so I stay more caught up there. So I guess you gotta pick your poison. But thank you so much for being here. And again, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate that. And I'm assuming that Oak, that's what the Wahapo is for, so thank you very much for that, Oak. Thanato says, I think he has PTCD, post-traumatic chess disorder. That works on multiple levels, especially because chess rhymes with stress. I like it. Let's see, Opinion says, I feel chatty today, actually. I recently have been on a Eustace kick again. I love it so much, and there's not enough Eustace-focused fanfic, especially trans femme Eustace. I very much enjoyed, who was it that posted? Was it Queen Katie? Or was it Vero that posted a bunch of like little internet fan comics of basically Eustace and Kay being like brothers and sisters, both adopted by Edgeworth? It's adorable. Jack says, about to breeze through the rest of P5R, just use Network Fusion to make Izanagi no Okami. I don't think I ever ended up making that one. Did I? I don't think I did. But like in that or in 4. Oh, Izanami no Okami Picaro, and I'm only in Shido's Palace level 66. That's a lot better fusion than I did. I feel like toward the end of the game, I got better at that. P3, I finally got on the fusion train. Opinion says, reading AA fic is so weird for me because Eustace is really the only character I care about more than, quote, oh, they're cool, which also makes it impossible for me to write fic myself. I've never watched AA4, and it takes place like a few weeks after AAI2. How am I supposed to write my Eustace post-canon healing? I think you could probably figure it out because, like, Edgeworth does appear in later games, but he's not nearly as important of a character. I think the most important thing that you realize that later on he is a chief prosecutor and he wears glasses. And that's like about it, I think. Dura says, AA4 is decent, you should play it. Trucy is the second best sidekick behind only K, in my opinion. And Opinion says, well, the Phoenix disbarment thing, not AA4 itself. That is true. There we go. That is true. I'll read a couple more on Twitch. I got to scroll back up to where I left off before. Quicky said, you remember the kids from Judy Bound's case? Simeon's a kid, Bronca's the other one. Nora says, okay. Egan says, more unhinged Logan. More. Oh, so for Simeon's voice, I thought you were talking about your cursed artwork again. Queen Kitty said this, okay, so I'll try a bit more unhinged. Excellent, because you requested it. Queen Kitty said, this is why we rewatch VODs when we've been gone for a bit. And that's what I should do. I should do that. So true, she has an actual job this time. Salute, Emma. And Nora says, oh, I'm in the case with the first Emma appearance, AKA Yuri case. With that's Rise from the Ashes, right? Wait, why is that a Yuri case? Oh, it's because it's, crap, what was her name? What was her name with the straight blonde hair? And she appeared later on in another case too. I can't remember her name. Mr. Saint, you're a fan of chess, I take it? Where did that come from? Chess? Sure, I don't hate it. Is that a little bit better? Should I ratchet up even more, Eglin? Our secret string puller was playing correspondence chess with Mr. Canis.
Objection.
I thought Bronco was the one playing chess with Canis. You're saying he was your so-called mastermind.
Objection.
No, it wasn't him. Whoever it was went on manipulating events even after Knight's death. Take a look at this letter, if you would. Who do you think could have written it? I believe it was the person who had inserted themselves between Mr. Canis and Knight. And again, was nude and blue. He was blued. That's a combination of blue and nude. And you think that person was me? Why would I go to all that trouble? That's crazy. To make it appear that the two men were connected and communicating directly with one another. The very fact that led Fifi Lagarde to murder him. What? You're saying he set that up to try and get Mr. Knight killed? Okay, I kind of don't like that. I don't want him to be a bad friend. Sure, he could be like a criminal mastermind, a murderer, a kidnapper, and all these things, but I don't want him to be a bad friend.
Objection.
Listen to yourself. What do you think I am? Ah, thank you, Toilet Duck. I will save. I'm a good trained Pavlovian dog. I assume maybe that means that we're gonna have to present some evidence in just a minute. But thank you very much for the Toilet Duck. Some kind of evil puppet master. Well, I mean, he's kind of training animals to do his bidding. You've seen me. I can barely even get the animals to do what I want. If we could find one of the letters he passed between Knight and Canis, that would prove the connection beyond a doubt. I'd like to have your room searched. I believe we might find... Letters. You won't trust me. What? Once I'm done with something, I put it straight in the trash. Guess I'm not the sentimental type. Why get hung up on the past, right? He might have disposed of any incriminating items in order to cover his tracks. Guess you went in without the evidence you needed once again, huh? That's a bad habit, you know. So this doesn't prove anything either. We've fallen short yet again. What do we do now? Are we out of options? I don't know. My option is to read some more in the chat. Because I don't want to get super behind. Last stream, that metaphor stream, oh my gosh, I got behind. I got to make sure that doesn't happen again. Queen Katie says to Nora, yee! So you get to see Emma from her baby days, and this Emma where she's in the transitional era from the smiley face to grumpy face. Said, pretty derby, I have it on phone. I'm a stellar horse trainer. When I'm not a bad trainer, let's ignore those times when I failed. I saw another meme with the gold something drop kicking people when she wins. Nora said, Katie is addicted to gambling on anime horse girls. Quickita said, yeah, I know where Logan is in the guide. Hey, I am free to play for Pretty Derby. I have not put a single cent towards it, but you're gambling your time, which is truly priceless, right? Crystal says, I feel like Grumpy is just you whenever I recommend Alien Stage to people before I got Nora into it. Queen Katie says, yeah. Speaking of, apparently a big YouTuber I like watched it. Nora with some crying emotes. Eglin said, do I download another gacha game or go back to like the 7 I have and stopped playing? It depends. Are the waifus and or husbandos cute? Nora says, who? Queen Katie? Queen Katie said, Pretty Derby is nice for just casual time spending each day. I do some in the morning, then some at night before I go to bed. And then Queen Katie said to Nora, I forgot his name, but his channel is Danny something? I mostly see him on TikTok. Nora said, there's a new Yuri out, y'all, and it's so good. They've only done 2 episodes, but my Yuri deficiency has been healed. Is it because I actually don't know if this is a Yuri, but I know I suddenly saw people posting things about some anime with 2 girls who are like, geologists or something like that, studying rocks and gems and things. And Castle with a fish emote. Thank you for the fish. Let me glance over at YouTube for a moment here. I gotta scroll up. Your opinion says... I already read that. Jack says AA4 is second best AA game, only beaten by AA3 in my opinion. Thanatos says, I write fics as a hobby, so I feel the same when I write about a character no one remembers. I dabbled once. I think Vero's the only one I've shown this to. I one time actually did write a Transformers web comic. Just like, it was like a 22-page comic is all, not like an ongoing type of a thing. But I always like doing the characters that nobody else like spends a lot of time with. I think it's fun to kind of flesh them out, you know? Toshi says, I finished all the games recently and AAI2 still my favorite because of Simeon. Dermo says, it's not my favorite, but it's definitely underrated. I wish they kept Phoenix's development. We just weren't ready for Robo Phoenix. I hate just how easy it was for them to undo all that stuff. And also, but you know what? I've mentioned this before. The one thing I hate even more was that in AA4, that's the only game where Phoenix actually seems competent. But it's gotta be because we're not in his head in that one. We're seeing him how other people do. All the other games, we're actually in his head and we realize, oh, he is a panicky little know-nothing. Thanatos said, there's so few fics of AAI2 in comparison to the other games. Well, I don't know now, but when the fan translation was the only translation at least, I would imagine it ought to go up now that there's like an official release, right? Jack says, Dermo, I agree with Phoenix. Hate is unwarranted. I think it was written and handled well and does nothing but justice for Phoenix's character by letting him be good as his former job. And Valtube says, yes, Simeon is a bad friend, but if it makes you feel better, there's a fan project called, quote, Simeon Blackwell's Investigations, where Simeon repents kill Bronco. Well, that kind of reminds me, we had someone, was it a couple of streams ago, talking about making a fan game set in prison with like various characters. I won't say who because Nora's here and I don't want to spoil things, but I know the Blackwell was going to be one of them. Toshi said Phoenix's personality in the entire Apollo trilogy is just him hiding stuff from Apollo, and some of it so pointlessly. The whole ending with AA4, again, I won't say it because you don't want to spoil it for Nora. It's like there was no reason to keep that a secret and every reason to tell Apollo and Trucy. Toby says, I never understood why people didn't like how it happened. Like, Phoenix doesn't just use whatever random evidence he finds in every case, lol. Valtube says, I need AA4 Phoenix versus Simeon, duel of masterminds. And Jack says, it's actually pretty in character if you think about it. We usually are in his head, but now seeing from another character's perspective, we see how reserved with his thoughts he is. I'm kind of reserved, but there are times, you know, behind the bench, Phoenix is like that. But then he put a beanie on him, and suddenly he's chill. Let's play some more of the game, then I'll read some more of the chat in a bit. And crap, we're already almost an hour into stream. Yeah, we are not finishing the game tonight. By the way, for those who weren't here at the celebration stream, we did announce what the next 2 games are. Once we're done with this and Metaphor, we're going to be playing Deltarune Chapters 3 and 4. And Date Everything. We're going with 2 like slightly shorter games. Other games I considered were all longer, like Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. That's right, the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. 100 Line, Last Defense Academy, Persona 5 Strikers, and there were some other like shorter games I was looking at as well. Yangtze River. Although, you know, we can't tell Weedle, but you know, that the game that shall not be named, I was considering as well. Anyway, what do we do now? Are we out of options? You accuse me of betraying my friend? And you don't even have any proof? You're despicable.
I accidentally went into hibernation too early. I thought it was winter lull. I was gathering all that food for nothing. Anyways, Beef is backing out for blood. I just discovered that my ex-wife still has family out there, and I haven't totally wiped out her bloodline, so I'm gonna go kill them.
Beef, you probably shouldn't, like, genocide an entire species. Although I guess if your wife is still alive, it's not the entire species. But then, Beef, don't wipe out a species, but if you do, you gotta repopulate it. Okay, Beef? But thank you very much, Oak, for the 50 bits, and for the advancement of the Beef Longer lore. All right, let's keep going here. Who's holding it? Who was that? Who could it be? I was gonna say maybe Franziska, but I think she's voiced, right? It could be, it's probably Verity Gavel, I bet. Oh, it's Regina! Oh, hi. Miss Berry, what does she want? Sorry, it's just, I was thinking about what you were saying, and this night person, you mean the Bronco, right? Simeon's friend? Yes, what of it? Does she know something? A letter came from him this morning. How long ago was case 2? Was that only a few days ago in-game? I think it probably was, right? For Simeon! What? What did you? How is that possible? Knight is dead! Bro, the post office can be so slow. So slow. I mentioned before that that Castle was kind enough to gift 2 things off my throne wish list, and one of them, I think I got the notification saying it's gonna ship. It'll arrive in like 5 to 10 business days, and I just checked the tracking, and it's still literally in Japan right now. So I'm like, it might be longer than that. And then the other one, Walmart has encountered a problem with the very small one, and so I may have to like figure out how to resolve that. Things take a while to arrive. Miss Betty, we need to see this letter right away. Actually, I don't know how I feel about this, because this kind of feels like we're being bailed out by external forces. I hope it's not like too obvious. I hope it's not like exactly the evidence we need. I'd rather that there's something that we can figure out, you know? Sure, here you go. Let's open it, shall we? No, okay. That would be a federal offense, and we cannot commit crimes. I'd rather a murderer go free and murder more men than us open someone else's mail. Oh, no, we're doing it. Oh, is it? Okay, hang on. That is a different chess layout. Oh, this is showing the next move. So here's my next move. Pawn to G6. Can anybody else smell checkmate? Can't wait to see your face when you lose, but you're never gonna beat me. Naughty chess. Okay, so is this immediately after the one that we saw before? The chess diagram. Pawn, oh yeah, because it's this pawn up here, so I guess he's white. Pawn to G6 because typed out Canis's move is bishop to G2, huh?
I ordered a wrist rest for my keyboard a while ago and it said it would take 3 to 4 days to ship. It took 10 days and for 9 of them it was just in the same shipping place in California doing nothing, and then the day after it shipped directly to Massachusetts. Boo.
Ah! A similar thing happened to me a while ago where I like, and it's so frustrating because like, I think it was going through FedEx and they gave me the shipping that's like, it'll be here by such and such date. It was like a Thursday or something like that. And then it reached, I can't remember what state, it was like Nebraska or something like that. And then it stayed there for like 3 days straight. And it got to the point where it was Saturday and the tracking was still saying it'll be there Thursday, like the past Thursday. It's like, dude, that's the past. You can't do that. And then I think it arrived like that Saturday or Monday or something like that. But I mean, honestly, I shouldn't complain. The very fact that we have these type of parcel delivery services is kind of amazing. I just think I'm getting kind of spoiled by Amazon's very quick delivery on things. But thank you very much for the 10 bits, Oak. I appreciate that. Hang on, I want to see how he's smelling checkmate here. Because he has the king, 3 pawns, and a rook, and that's all. Whereas Canis has a bishop and a rook and 3, like, Canis is in a better position. He has more pieces. Like, what is his plan here? I mean, his rook could, okay, if Bronco Knight put his rook down here to C1, that would put him into check, and so he'd be forced to either move the king to H2 or bishop to F1. Honestly, either would be fine. But yeah. What is he? There is like no quick and easy checkmate here. Bishop down here would probably be better because right now the king would be protecting this pawn, and he'd eventually be able to go up here to try and take the pawn. But he's got this other rook that would, and the bishop would be able to, as soon as the rook moved away from there, the bishop would be able to head up here in order to threaten this pawn. Oh, the king is protecting that. Anyway, and yeah, like he could, Canis's rook is right here to be able to check the king. It's only option to be able to move to, anyway, sorry, this is just not a great chess game. I don't know why he's so excited. It's another correspondence chess letter.
The next move from the game with Mr. Canis.
Can anybody else smell checkmate? Can't wait to see your face when you lose. But you were never gonna beat me. Not at chess.
He should be in pretty derby. And he should dress in a pretty outfit.
It's postmarked the 26th of March, the day before Knight died.
I guess it must have gotten held up en route.
Well, we do move around a lot. It's part of being a traveling circus. Our mail arrives late all the time.
The best move would just be bishop takes rook and then no matter what, rook f7.
Wait, hang on. Was the bishop threatening the rook? Hang on. No, the bishop can't take the rook because the bishop zips right past the rook. So unfortunately, the bishop can't do that because this is the same as before, except the pawn was moving forward just one space. But yeah, if the grid was like, it's hard to tell because this grid is all just white rather than checkered. There's a reason why you checker the board. Game. But I guess it'd be hard to draw that way. But thank you very much for the 10 bits. I should read some more in the chat then. Let me read this line though. Interesting that it's addressed directly to you, Mr. Saint. There's our connection. Queen Gator says, Danny Mota, that's the YouTuber. I've heard of him. I bet I'd recognize him if I saw him. I know I've seen people mention him in some of the comments on my shorts and or TikToks. I can't remember if people are like comparing me to him and if that's favorable or not. Nora said, oh yeah, Danny, I don't know how to spell his last name, but I know how to say it. And I know you're talking about Mata. I don't know how to spell, yeah. Castle says, ayo, Danny, is it Mota or Mata? Danny Motto was how I watched Madoka, as I'm too squeamish to watch it directly. That's another anime I've been meaning to watch. I've had it recommended to me by so many people. Is it still streaming on Netflix or Crunchyroll or something like that? Queen Gator said, nope, he never met Von Karma, because remember by the time the murder happened, the kids went missing before. That's what I was thinking. And so then why was he saying like a certain other person? And Edward's like, no, I'm not like him. No. Maybe he had like a run-in with him elsewhere or something. Castle says, quote, hit me with your killer piece of evidence. I think we should just throw a brick at him. It would be a killer piece of evidence because it would probably kill him. I see no downside to the strategy, Castle. Queen Gator said, fun fact, there is an official Pokemon Tumblr account on Tumblr. Is it good? Good enough. Nora says, Oak and I were both reading it. We voice acted. I dragged her into this, but she enjoys it. Oak said, technically it's more that Nora is making me read Yuri and voicing it. Nora said, you enjoy it, don't lie. Oak says, yeah, it's pretty good. Oak said, I honestly prefer the comedy to the romance aspect. I just don't really like romance as a genre in general. And Nora said, yes, my stream is crashing. Wait, is it crashing for anybody else? Kuita said, Miles, that moment, what would that man do right about now? He'd bluff and do like a turnabout. Let me check out the YouTube chat. I gotta scroll up to where I left off. Oh wow, there's like so much chatting in YouTube. I mean, I love seeing it, but I'm gonna be so far behind. Where did I leave off? I need to find it. Let's see, there we go. Dermo says the beanie masks the expressions. Maybe that's what it is. So he just looks down, because he would do that where he'd look down and kind of shade his face a little bit. And so maybe that's when he's all panicking. I did see it wasn't really a convention, but there was like a nerd-themed swap meet about a year ago, and somebody had made a homemade one of those and was advertising that she was going to start selling out on her Etsy shop pretty soon. Like, has Capcom not already started selling those beanies officially? Oh, there's a pinned message on Twitch, written by Crystal. Pinned by Crystal said, TikTok comments called you Danny Mata, but in gaming, because of your accurate, not all the time predictions. Oh, so does he like mainly just watch anime or something? He is a reaction YouTuber and predicts accurately too, but in the animations he watches. Oh, also, hang on, I gotta fix something real quick. I just noticed that on my stream that I have here going in the background, the quality for some reason got bumped up to HD, and that's probably using up too much of my bandwidth. So I gotta knock that down a peg. So thank you very much for the clarification. So I didn't know that was like his deal. I just assumed he was probably another video game streamer. Toby says, I 100% understand why you wouldn't play Great Ace Attorney Chronicles immediately after this game. Ace Attorney Burnout is real. I'll enjoy date everything in the meantime. Because that's the thing, we did, we went for Dual Destinies, and then I think we took like a week off, maybe 2 weeks or something like that. Went into Spirited Justice, went straight from Spirited Justice into this. And I don't want to get burned out. I'm enjoying these and I'm looking forward to it, but I know that one's supposed to be really, really long. So I feel like I need a buffer game or two before that, if that makes sense. Well, of course, because you were just talking about it. So yes, thank you for understanding, Toby. Jack says, when people takes off his beanie, he summons his persona. Toshi says, this is the same man who flashed evidence in front of the mafia. Dura says, his persona is like his hair spike. Jack says, Justice Arcana, of course, beneath the beanie. Dura says, oh yeah, I beat 100 line 100%, took 130 hours, making the longest visual novel I've ever played, more than any persona? I know, like, our Persona 5 playthrough, I was just shy of 300 hours, I think. Huh?
Is 50 bits per chance enough for you to go back to the chess game really quick? BC, I want to analyze it and see what objectively is the best move.
Okay, so this is what we have. I can't bring up the... Wait, unless it's been added to our court record, has it? I don't think it's been added yet. Yeah, so this is the old one. So the only difference is that Knight has moved the pawn here to G2. So yeah, and so Knight was acting like that he's close to checkmate because of this. As if this is somehow luring Canis out to pull some particular move. And honestly, I'm not sure what it'd be, because the bishop could go over here to threaten the rook, but then be in the line of fire of... Oh, no, because that's his own rook. Yeah, because Canis wouldn't want to bring a rook down here, because then be threatened by that rook. Same with taking out that pawn. Like, you could go here with the bishop to threaten... Oh, but that's why, maybe that's why Bronco moved this one here, so the bishop, if it came here, wouldn't be able to threaten that pawn, because if the bishop tried to take it, then one of the pawns would take out the bishop. But still, it just doesn't seem like Bronco Knight should not have been that proud of that move. They did not deserve that level of bragging rights. See, I'll leave this up while I read the next couple of comments over on YouTube, but well, yeah, so Dermo, if you've already played, does that mean that when I eventually play it, you'll be able to attend those streams? Jack says, throw away your beanie. Thanatos says, Bronco revived just to mess with his bestie's plan. What a good friend. Well, because it turned out his bestie arranged his death. So yeah, it's reciprocal. This is why you don't murder your bestie. Valtube said, Bronco has a hoarse voice laughing. I wasn't around during the first K streams, and I got so sick of doing it too. But yes, Valtube. Toshi said they're great thieves. They can open whatever mail they want. Oh, that's right, because Edgeworth is now her assistant, because he's no longer technically a prosecutor. Durwa says, I ordered a sustain pedal half a year ago. I don't know if it'll ever show up, but I'm afraid when I get another one, that's when it'll show up. I had something like that too, and I'm almost ready to try and not really pursue legal action, but start making a huff. I had pre-ordered, okay, I'm not gonna get into it right now, but yeah, there's a company, I'll briefly mention. So there's a company called, I think it's Premium DNA, and they were making some Earthworm Jim action figures, and one of them was of the villain Psychro that I thought looked really cool. Did a pre-order. Most of the time pre-orders, they don't charge you until it ships, but they charge me right away, and I'm like, okay, well, clearly they're on the ball with this, they know what they're doing. And it's gotten delayed, and I've heard that parts of their website are disappearing now, and they're not responding to customer service, and it hasn't gotten released. And this was 3 years ago or something. 2 or 3 years ago, and I'm starting to get worried, and apparently their company also used to be a previous company that went under because it, like, left a lot of unfulfilled orders, and people had to, like, raise heck to get their money reimbursed back to them, and so now I don't know what to do there. Toby says, wait, wasn't Bronco supposed to be playing with the black pieces? I don't know, we might have just assumed that because of the way it was written here. But clearly, I think that has established now, and yeah, maybe we thought that before. So now we know for sure that Canis moved here, and so this was the note probably that was given to Bronco to show that Canis moved the bishop to G2. What next? Rook no, pawn to G6, question mark. So this is his like little musings of what to do. And he did end up going, oh, that's G6, yeah, so he did end up going to G6. Yeah, I guess. Toby says, why is he talking about checkmate? He's losing. I know, he's behind. Toshi said not Logan roasting their chess game for 10 minutes. I'm sorry, but I like chess too. Did you guys, who was here when we did our co-stream with, excuse me, our co-stream with Coach Wilson? And we just played a whole bunch of mini games, and one of them was a chess game. And I didn't realize that the rules had it set up timed, and I actually was doing really well. And I had him on the ropes, and I was so close to like beating him. But the problem is I'd keep stopping to talk to chat, and then my time ran out. So he won. But you know, it's a fair win. I mean, that's like how the rules work. Let's see, Terma said, Madoka Magica is great. I can't really explain why without spoiling, but it's great. I just heard that you need to prepare yourself for it to be darker than the designs would make you think it would be. Toby said, wait, I'm no fool. Knight has 2 rooks, and Canis has a bishop and a rook, so knight is up. Wait. Oh, you're right, he does have 2 rooks. Wait. Was this rook in the other drawing as well? Maybe I just missed it. So he does have 2 rooks. So he is up. So you are correct, but he still doesn't have a whole heck of a lot. I must have missed this other rook when I was looking at the other drawing. I'm sorry, so you're correct. Let's see. Thanatos said, maybe he was talking about Excelsius, and then Toby said, but ye very far from checkmate. Okay, I need to play some before I get back to chat some more. I'm just behind in both chats. I'm not good at streaming. I haven't even gotten to where Gene followed, I don't think. That's how far behind I am. Interesting that it's addressed directly to you, Mr. Saint. This is it, isn't it? The proof we needed that you were the one facilitating Mr. Canis and Knight's games. Once one of the letters you would have transcribed into Braille in order to create the illusion that they were somehow connected. Curse you, Bronco! You're still getting in my way even now! I hate you, I hate you! I thought they were besties. So what do you mean, still getting in his way? So was Bronco trying to stop him from, like, doing these murders?
Fabian! How could you? How could you lie to a blind man? Mr. Knight was your only friend!
Ha! We weren't friends. I stopped thinking he was my friend 18 years ago. Just because of, like, the kidnapping. Because of the kidnapping. Right around the time of the IS-7 incident, in other words. I nearly froze to death because of him. I was just about to head out and meet my dad at the contest. But then Bronco showed up. He pinned me down and tied me up. He was crying the whole time, whining on and on. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. He did it like this. I'm sorry, but my dad says I have to do this. And if I don't do what it says, he'll... ... He's so scary. Are we going to see a flashback of it? Stop it. Bronco, stop it. I have to go meet my dad. I promised him as a kid. It's up here. Stop it, Bronco. Stop it. I have to go meet my dad. I promise. If I'm not there to taste this candy for him, he'll be so upset. He needs me. If I don't go, he won't be able to show everybody he's the best in the world. But no, he locked me in that car with him, and the two of us nearly died. He thought he could get out, but when he tried the door, it was frozen shut. We were trapped. And that's how I lost my dad.
You lost your dad?
Well, yeah, because like, you know this, Kay. Did you not get all of your memory back after the amnesia? Like, Gusto basically disowned him after that. Yeah, Bronco's dad. Oh, sorry, no, it's the other way around. I keep forgetting whose dad. That's right, sorry. Bronco's dad killed mine. He was the son of a murderer.
What does he mean? That doesn't match up with what we know at all.
Oh, so we're getting them backwards. So Simeon Saint is Artie Frost's kid. So then why did Bronco have the Paul Halik ring? Okay.
Simeon, the victim in the IS-7 incident was a guy named Artie Frost.
Yeah, that was my dad's name. My memories got kind of scrambled that day. What little I remembered was pretty mixed up. So I didn't find out until later that my dad was murdered.
The murderer was a man named Carmelo Gusto, a confectioner.
Really? I never knew Bronco's father's name. Or maybe I chose not to remember. Just thinking about the sicko that killed my dad turns my stomach.
Mr. Saint, are you sure you didn't know the name of the murderer until just now?
Wait, is that important? Do you think I'd sit on it if I did? No! I'd have reported him to the police straight away. I should check, is Eglin still here to give me an update on how the unhinged voice is doing? Do I need to go even further? All I knew was that Bronco's dad tricked my dad. And that's how I knew my dad was the one who was killed that day. What? Hang on. I gotta read that again. All I knew is that Bronco's dad tricked my dad, and that's how I knew that my dad was the one who was killed that day. So he might still have it backwards then. Because that was the whole thing, is that he needed to taste it for his dad, that was Carmelo Gusto, who didn't have the sense of taste. So it isn't backwards, so he's just wrong. Bronco was a traitor. He helped his father murder mine.
He was the son of a stone-cold killer!
Oh, cold-blooded, sorry, different than stone cold.
Cold-blooded killer! He deserved to die! Tongue sticking out of my mouth.
Okay, I just looked through the chess game with an engine, and even though white is theoretically up by 2.5 points, they just end up trading rooks and shuffling pieces around for 50 moves until it's a draw. That's if the game is played inhumanly perfect though. Although pawn g3 was the best move.
Was the best move from white. So, I mean, because again, that makes sense because that's gonna have the other two pawns protecting it, but he was so like, oh, yes, male checkmater. Like, I don't get what the point of that was. But thank you very much to the 10-bits Oak and for doing the homework on that. Let me read a couple more comments in the chat while he's laughing and just jiggling. I wish his tongue had jiggle physics, so when he bounced up and down, it would. I gotta read some more. Quickita said, Miles in this moment. Oh, I read that. Nora said, oh, dang it, I just remembered my sub ran out of this account now. Well, Nora, like, I don't think that you should be fishing for Batman on to sub 2 accounts for you. If you want to have like I don't know, there's got to be some way that regardless of whose house that you're at, you can still access the subscribed one, right? I think there's got to be a way, yeah? to like log out of one and log into the other? Like, you just need the login information, don't you? I think. Nora said Prince mention, Minnesota mention. Oak said, oh yeah, Katie, I drew you in Gartic Phone last night. Quigita says, what? Oak said, can I send it to you? Quigita said, yes, I must know. Nora said, oh yeah, and I drew Crystal. Oak said, we're getting dangerously close to 1K quotes. We're over 700 now. Said, like in a few more months, we'll be there. Magpie says, miles per hour is Tails' rename. I know. Although here's the thing, I knew that ever since I was a kid. I heard that his name was Miles Tails Prower. It wasn't until I was an adult and I said the name out loud, I realized the pun. It was miles per hour. I felt so dumb when I realized that. So dumb. Quigita said, don't worry, Logan. No more mind chest, though. I do wish we had one with Simeon. Oak said, Miles Prower is one letter off of Miles Prowler, which is just the ending of Across the Spider-Verse. Oh, hey! Didn't the next one got delayed again? Do we know when it's supposed to come out now? Castle says miles per hour. See, Castle saw it immediately. Nora said, yeah, like I still really liked Redacted, even though they're a murderer. Hey, I got to Jean saying hi. See, Jean, I do eventually read the comments. I was just so far behind. And then saying YouTube, and Castle says, I guess phonetically, Gin or Jean. Oh, that's a good point. Yes, I was thinking like you could also do gin, like G-I-N, like the alcoholic beverage. Oak said, oh, like Gin from P3, I forgot his last name. And Gin says, I am Chaos, by the way. Oak with the timestamp, 44:44. I am about 42 minutes behind in chat. Not ideal. Quigita said that was Vero with Eustace and the K comics. They were adorable. Eglin said, oh no, that cursed art is already there. I can barely look at it. I'm excited to see it. It's in the artwork channel, yeah? Oak said, oh yeah, I think they also posted more comics in spoiler chat because they had Simeon spoilers, if I remember correctly, so we might be able to send those now. Nora said, I was talking about Lana and Mia definitely were dating. Quigita says, oh yeah, I can resend something I said ages ago when this game was announced to be coming to the West, BRB lol. Nora said, because ... remember ... quote, that's probably why she was attracted to me, even though Emma claims it was intellectual attraction. Lana did not comment on that. You see, I thought that Emma's sister had like an inappropriate relationship with Damon Gant. That was the vibe I got. Eglin says, perfect. Yay! And AMC with some emotes. How you doing, AMC? Oak said, bro, you're literally using mind control or some crap to make animals be your personal armrest. Quigita says, gold ship the drop kicker as she should when she wins. That's who it was. She's the horse that apparently is like a supernaturally good at racing, but also sometimes just doesn't care and doesn't want to win, right? I gotta read some more over on YouTube. Opinion says, it sucks that there's not a mind chess against Simeon, but I feel like both Verity and Eustace's were kind of necessary and they weren't gonna break the pattern of 2 per case, but still, man. Well, especially with Eustace's, I think. That one felt very important for his character arc. ValTube said, I'm so hyped for playing Great Ace Attorney, but I need to finish Phoenix versus Layton's Let's Play first. I mentioned before, I still want to play it. Part of me wishes that I was like a big enough streamer that I could afford to like pay people to be guests on the stream or something like that. Because I've mentioned before, like I am friends with the guy who does the voice of Professor Layton. And I feel like that'd be fun to have him on and doing that, but I don't know. Toby says that game could still go for like 50 moves if both sides are playing well. See, Toby, it's exactly what Oak said. Going around for like 50 moves. Durwa says, I have such good memories with Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. Finished the final case hanging out by a campfire. It felt very appropriate, if you know the case. Toby said there's some LPs of AA fans playing the crossover without any knowledge of Professor Layton, and they hated the game. I love the type of puzzles that Professor Layton has. I've only done like half of a Professor Layton game before, but I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Toby says, but Layton fans tend to love it, lol. Derma said, see, I'm a fan of both series, so I loved it, and it was 6 years since I had 100%ed all the other Layton games. I craved puzzles. Uppity says, I love this part. Simeon, you messed up. Okay, I gotta play some more. I gotta actually play some more. His tongue is drying out from having it sticking out that long. Okay. Objection! I'm sorry, Mr. Saint, but you've made a mistake. A big one. Also, let's save. So do you think he's gonna feel regret when he realizes that the dads were the other way around? That he was the one whose father was a murderer? A mistake? What do you mean? Oh. Artie Frost was a sculptor. He'd been working in France not long before the murder, under the name Paul Helique. So I hear, but I don't remember anything about that. I wish I could. Well, I'm afraid it's only natural that you don't, because he wasn't your father. Usually the twist is when you find out someone was your father. Your twist is finding out this man wasn't. Huh. Is this your idea of a joke? Well, it's not funny. Not at all. You're right, it's not, but you need to know the uncomfortable truth. This piece of evidence proves that you're not Artie Frost's son. Okay, it could be, again, the chess set. I think the last couple times, like, maybe it's the chess set, because that has the Paul Hillick ring. But let's review everything else first here. Okay, letter, Calamity BK, big building, creature feature flyer, monster footprints, Wang's autopsy, Torosaurus head, Torosaurus plush. Huh?
Hi friends,
Vero!
sorry was a way to watch Transformers 1 again and me and friends kept talking even after we were done. LOL. Anyway, fusilli pasta is the worst kind of pasta.
Fusilli, I need to look up what kind of pasta that is. Vero, it's so good to see you. How are you? Silly pasta. Fusilli pasta. Oh, it's fine. I think depending what type of sauce you put on it, that type of noodle. I mean, I don't, okay. But Vero, I mean, honestly, that's good. I wish I could have joined you. That sounded like that was fun. But Vero, how are you? Welcome. Thank you so much for the 10 bits. We're still just like, trying to get Simeon Saint, trying to just nail him to the wall. But yeah, we are almost halfway through the stream, and we're not going to succeed at this, like, at all. So you haven't missed too much, Vero. Okay, so we're just trying to find the evidence that proves he's not Artie Frost's son. Behind-the-scenes photo, movie set lock, security camera footage, Ms. Hart's statement, blue truck, Sean's rehearsal tape, mechanic's gloves, IS-7 case file, incident. Okay, we either need to find the Paul Hillick ring that goes with the chess set that Bronco had to show that he was Artie Frost's son, or, which is probably that because he went Edgeworth mentioned Paul Hillick, or see if there is evidence, like if the IS-7 case file, if it mentions anything about, if we added anything talking about Gusto not having a sense of taste. Because, like, in the flashback that he had, he remembered that much.
That's right, Logan. We are trying to nail Simeon Saint.
Well, here's the problem.
In the wall.
In the wall.
Boo.
Bah! Here's the problem, Oak. I was about to say peg Simeon Saint, but then I realized I can't use that word because Oak likes to use that word for dirty things. It's like, okay, what's a preferable word? Nail. Surely that's not going to be used for that type of stuff. But thank you very much, Oak. I appreciate that. Hang on a second. I just went because I glanced over to see who did the TTS, so I looked at the overlay. Huh?
Oh, you wouldn't want to be there. We kept repeating lines because we had this movie memorized and talking over the movie. It would have been a nightmare for anyone watching for the first time. We all watched it before.
No, that's the thing. I've seen it before. So that sounds like it'd be fun to me. That sounds very fun. So that would have just enhanced the experience. But thank you very much for the 10 bits, Vero. I really, really appreciate that. And I'm still jealous, but I'm glad they had fun. That's a good reason to be late here. But hang on. When I glanced over to see who gave the TTS, because it was on the overlay to see who was there, and I saw Oak there, I noticed Error saying hello there in the chat. Error, I'm like way behind the chat. I'm like 45 minutes behind in chat, but Error, it's been forever. For those who don't know, which is probably most of you, because I think Rukov isn't here, Error is an IRL friend of mine. How are you? How have you been? Welcome. What brings you? What brings you here? We're in the final section of this Ace Attorney game, by the way. Okay, I gotta check this evidence. So good to see you, Error. And thank you, Oak and Vera, both for the 10 bits. Let's see. Carmel Gusta, Artie Frost Sons, both visit. Yes, this doesn't mention the taste disability that he had. A report on night. So it's probably gonna be this. But I just want to check everything else first. Did we save before we got here? Okay, so it's got to be the chess set. Because that's the Paul Hillick ring. That's a pocket chess set and a ring Knight made from his father's signature stamp. Present!
Take that!
Bronco's chess set and ring. Yes! Take a look at the ring for me, if you would. What does the engraving on it tell you? It says... It's 2 letters, right? It is! This is the seal with which Paul Hillick used to mark his works. And it was found next to Artie Frost's body 18 years ago. But why would Bronco have a memento of my father? The police looked for Frost's son for a long time, and eventually they found him. The ring was handed over to the man they were able to prove was his child, Bronco Knight. Ah! But that would mean I was! Precisely, that you are in fact the son of Carmelo Gusto! Maybe I should have made him Italian. Now that we got some music, I can read some more in the chat. Okay, where did I leave off? Quiggy said, reposted the cool art made by one of my favorite fan artists for Ace Attorney. They drew this when the game was announced for West released. I think it's worth looking into when y'all can. Is it Edge worth looking at when we can, Queen Katie? Nora says, oh, I don't know, this thing is Yuri it's called. Actually, don't really want to say what it's called that much. Oh, so it's probably like got a dirty name or something like. It's probably one of those things where, you know how in some anime and manga and light novels, like really long names, you're like, I was hit by a truck coon and then reincarnated in another world where I was given a very oddly specific power, but it was maxed out to the highest level, and so I became a king among all kings, and also I had a harem of anime chicks, you know, that type of thing. So yours, if it's Yuri is probably like two ladies doing it with each other, sexually and carnally, every page. Always something bad going on with these two ladies. Oak said, give us your Transformers webcomic, Logan. We need it. No, you don't. Vero's read it. You can ask Vero if Vero recommends it. Quicken said, by the way, Logan, just so you know, this whole time I had the Steam Deck on my Logan Streams profile. I had Simeon's true face as the icon for some buttons related to him with a heart over him. Ah. So here's the question, Queen Katie. Did you have your crush on Simeon even before the reveal? Huh?
Logan, there's a first time chatter and this is what you do.
Ah!
Boo.
Ah, there's the boo. Because I thought it was going to be Vera, but then I looked over and it was Oak. Huh?
I love how you're saying this in front of you, Earl friend. Also, what comic?
Remember I sent you that, like, fan comic that I wrote, the Transformers one? That it was, like, characters that I don't think that you were familiar with because they were more obscure characters. A good friend of mine referred to it once as the most fun he'd ever had reading a comic about two people entering into a suicide pact with each other. So I think that was high praise. But hang on. Thank you both, Oak and Vera, for the 10 bits each. I gotta scroll up then because Oak said there's a first time chatter. Dagger8224 saying, oh my gosh, first time finally watching you live. Well, thank you for being here, Dagger. I saw you as one of the people who would like give me a follow off stream recently. So thank you so much for the follow. If you're new here, if this is your first time, let me give you the rundown of the channel real quick. So we stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays. We are currently alternating between this game, Ace Attorney Investigations 2 Prosecutor's Gambit, and Metaphor Refantasio, which I don't know if you're familiar with it, like what stuff brought you here, if it was Ace Attorney things or Persona stuff. But Metaphor, of course, it's a JRPG from the makers of Persona, so it's very similar. We are in the end phases of both. So if you followed because you saw me on either TikTok or YouTube, I usually have like a long delay after I play a game before I post in order to like avoid spoilers in the comments. So we are toward the end of these. So if you're planning on playing Ace Attorney Investigations 2, you might, I'd love for you to stay because you seem very excited to be here and I'm excited to have you here. But if you need to avoid spoilers, I totally understand. Also, I should let you know I read every comment in chat out loud, but I'm about 45 minutes behind in the Twitch chat right now. So other things you may say, I will get to. It just may take me a while. So yeah. But thank you again for the follow. Oh, and here. Someone might have already done this, but let me give you the link tree. This is a link tree I'm putting in the Twitch chat that has all of our social media, has a Discord invite link, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. So if there's anything else you want to check out, feel free to, or ignore it. I know that not every social media platform is everybody's cup of tea, but again, thank you for the follow. And I really, really appreciate you being here. And I should read some more in the chat so I can slowly catch up from those 45 minutes of being behind. But again, thank you for the follow. And thank you, Oak, for letting me know about that. Quickity says, Simeon, heart, Saint. So that button has a Simeon Saint true face with a big red heart stamped on him. Quickity said, 5515 timestamp. Okay, so yeah, we are a little bit less than 45 minutes behind now. Said, how are we this far? Last timestamp I made it was 14 minutes. Quickity said, Logan, Yangtze River is not a shorter game. It's 5 cases, which is why I've been patient for it, because I want a better time to play it. For some reason, I thought it'd be shorter. I do feel bad because I had decided to like look up and wishlist some similar to Ace Attorney type games on Discord, and I saw one that looked like it had kind of a fun anime art style, and it got delisted today. I'm like, crap, apparently I should have bought it during the summer sale. It's just like not available on Steam anymore, and it kind of makes me sad, and I don't know why. Nora said, yeah, let's go beef. Quickita said, I still remember the time I was doing the finale case an hour overtime to your P3R Igus stream. Castle said, lol, not the small purchase. I know, I need to check like with Walmart to what their problem is, and hopefully they can get it, because it's nice. Otherwise, Castle, you may end up getting, I guess, a refund on that one. Quickita said, don't forget the part where it'll finally land in your post office in your area, but they won't deliver it all day for some reason. Oak said, like 3 to 4 day shipping is fine, but if you can just ship it in a single day, then why do you leave it in the same place for 3 days? I figure it's gotta be that if you pay less for shipping, it's like a lower priority than the more express stuff, I guess. Quickita said, yes, a Bronco and Pretty Derby. All of the girls over there are based on real horses anyway, so no, why not toss Bronco in there? Well, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't you say that like, that all the horses are female? All the horse girls are female, even if the horses are male, but they have some like design thing, either with a ribbon or with their ears or something like that, that signifies which girl is based on a male horse, I think. Oak said, oh wait, I was not looking correctly. Yeah, Eglin said, oh yeah, Verizon had me ship my phone through the mail, and now I'm in a whole load of bullcrap because they never got it. I don't have it. I've heard of that before, wait, or maybe it was you, Eglin. I remember somebody had a whole thing where they ordered a phone and it didn't arrive, and then Verizon, well, no, I think it was my cousin that happened to, and the replacement didn't arrive, and so he was supposed to like get the replacement and then send his old one back in the box, and he never got the new one, and they're like, we sent you the new one, why haven't you sent back your old one? We're now gonna charge you hundreds of dollars, because it was like a trade-in. Quickita said, well, to be fair, Logan, there were a bunch of rumors about Miles and Von Karma when Ace Attorney started, lol. I guess, but like the way Simeon Saint said that made it sound like that they were personally familiar with each other. Quickita said, and news can spread fast after the first game's finale case, especially when you have a villain takedown via parrot in court. That'd be memes everywhere in universe. Cass said, spoilers only if you look into it further. This chess game is real. An exhibition match, Habu v. Lautier, 2002. Okay, that is really cool then. So who won? Did it just end up being a stalemate like Oak was saying? Crystal says, oh, that was pinned earlier, and Quickita said, yeah, lol, one time Danny watched a Magic Girl animatic. He said, man, sure would be nice to see colors so I could judge her outfit, huh?
My partner bought me the Totoro soundtrack on vinyl last year for my birthday, and it just never shipped. I don't even think he got his money back. I'd where he got it from, but that has to suck. BC vinyl is expensive, and it was limited edition.
Oh, especially if it's limited edition. Ha! I remember I took a Japanese class one time at the U. That's what we call the university around here. I'm so not cool. I'm sorry for saying it that way. And I remember for some reason they taught us to sing the words to the Totoro theme song. You know, Totoro, Totoro. But thank you, Oak, for the 10 bits, and thank you, Error, for the objection. I'm so sorry I'm so behind in chat, but it is good to see you here. I'll get to your comments eventually. I'm sorry. Let me have a sip of water. I'll finish reading this comment from Queen Katie, then I'll check the YouTube chat. Then we'll get back into the game, especially for our new friend Dagger. I need to trick Dagger into thinking I actually take time to play the games instead of just chatting with y'all. But yeah, Queen is saying, he said, man, I sure would be nice to see color so I can judge her outfit. Then the literal scene later, it was in color for a short bit. Oh, it's cool. Crystal said literally 3 seconds after he said it too, and Queen said, and I think he made a bingo for a joke for Gravity Falls, but ended up being a real bingo by the end, so... okay, now let me take a look over the YouTube chat. Opinion says, I love this part. Simeon, you messed up. Oh, I read that before. Oh, crap. It's scrolling. I gotta... There we go. Toby says, I was the same boat as them, but I thought there was some meh parts. It was only after catching up on Professor Layton I could fully appreciate the game. Derby says, it leans more Professor Layton than Phoenix Wright, so I get that. I do wonder if the Phoenix Wright parts inspired Arcane Attorney. That's another one that I've seen, I think, on Steam. Jack says, yeah, it's a good Professor Layton game, but a mediocre AA game. Toby said, I love Ace Attorney I love Attorney of the Arcane. It'd make more sense if it was inspired by the crossover. Toby said, Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright was my first Layton game, and it made me fall in love with Layton immediately. He's so cool and gentlemanly compared to Phoenix. Battletube says, Jax, as much as I've watched, it's a peak Ace Attorney game. I love seeing Phoenix interrogate multiple people at the same time. Ooh, that sounds cool. Toby said, I agree, and the music is phenomenal too. Ignore the that way line. I accidentally type it sometimes. Oh, the wavy line. And Valtube says, having the classic AA1 themes orchestrated is peak. Derma says, and the Forest theme from PL2 orchestrated music is great. Valtube said I skipped PL2 to watch the crossover laughing. Derma says, it's, in my opinion, when the series really hits a stride. Oh, and Error's over on YouTube saying hi again. Hi, Error on YouTube now. Tuba said, I just started PL5. Loved every game so far. Jack said, Logan, my phone is at 3%, so I'll probably be gone for a while, but hopefully be back before the stream ends. Hopefully we'll see you back, Jack. Charge up that phone. I'm sorry. Valtube said, Logan, when will you watch the Tarazuka musical I sent on Discord? I need to watch it. I appreciate posting them, so thank you for that. But I just need to. I need to get around to watching. So sorry that I haven't yet, but I appreciate it, and they look cool. And Toby says, I would 100% gift you Attorney of the Arcane. By the way, ooh. I think those would be fun. Here's the thing, I should create a stipulation that I should mention to people. If you ever gift me a game on Steam, I will always appreciate it, but it will never be a guarantee that I will be able to play that game on stream, either immediately or potentially, I guess, ever, depending on how long it takes. But I always appreciate the games. Let's play some more now. Precisely, that you are, in fact, the son of Carmelo Gusto. No, that can't be. My dad was, I remember, Okay, hang on. This is new. I don't think we've ever seen him doing the Hear No Evil. We've seen him doing the See No Evil and Speak No Evil, but I think this is our first Hear No Evil sprite of him.
It's me, Carmelo Gusto. Hey, I'm in prison right now.
Bronco tied me up and locked me in that car. It was his fault I lost my dad. He deserved to die, didn't he? No way, so I get to see your circus thing even though I'm in jail? Was looking forward to the next move in our little chess game, so the show was just icing on top. Oh, so Knight, despite all of his evil stuff, he was a good friend?
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it.
I will. And hey, come back soon, okay? I'll be mulling over my next move in the meantime. Hey, come here. Gotta kiss the homies goodnight. That's right, I kiss the homies goodnight with tongue.
Oh, speaking of which, I put a little something in your chest set, but you can take a look at it later.
A little something? No idea what that might be, but thanks. I do not assume you have any ill intention toward me.
If you hadn't detained me 18 years ago, it wouldn't have had to end like this.
Huh? Did you say something? Something implying that you're gonna get me killed? I really ought to pay better attention to my best friend whom I love dearly.
Me? Oh, it was nothing.
At least that showed that he had some conflict.
Goodbye, Bronco, and farewell.
Did you say something again?
No, I'm not talking about that. Okay, just go over there. Enjoy your last night before you die.
What are you saying?
Nothing. I'm just gonna leave. I'm gonna leave you to your fate.
What are you talking about?
I really need to develop an inner monologue. I did all that, and now you're telling me that it was my father who killed Broncos? Huh?
Bro, no way Bronco didn't hear the one time Simeon said something incriminating Lamau.
I kind of hate that oh wait, was that a boo? Did I talk over a boo? I'm sorry, but thank you for the 10 bits. I kind of hate that trope. You see it in like movies and cartoons, anime, TV stuff all the time, where they always say something, they mumble it under their breath. And like, you should have totally been able to hear that. Is Magpie still here? Like another example is anytime that like one of the Robins or somebody will call Batman Bruce, and it's like you're out in public. Dude, somebody could totally hear you. But thank you for the 10 bits. Again, I appreciate that.
Then what was all this for?
I didn't want to wind up dead too. I didn't want to be weak and vulnerable. That's why I tried to be like Caddis! Why I stayed in touch with him all these years! Huh?
To be fair, how many people are named Bruce?
Okay, not many, I think. I don't feel like that's a popular name anymore. Like, if you lived somewhere where there was someone, like a famous, wealthy person who has that name, I don't know. It's just, it seems like a bit much. You know, like best case scenario. Best case, someone would go, oh, wow, Batman's real name is Bruce. Huh, oh, kind of like Bruce Wayne, that famous billionaire guy. Isn't that a coincidence? Like, you'd immediately think of that, right? Like, if there was another name that's, like, very uncommon, like, let's go, we'll talk about superheroes. Let's talk about superhero movies, like the director Taika Waititi. Well, I guess Taika's probably even less common than Bruce. I would probably should go something like I don't know, Armando or something like that. If there was like a really famous billionaire in your city named Armando, and then you find out, oh, this guy's name is Armando. Oh, just like the really famous billionaire. Like it would come to mind, right? I should stop complaining about that type of thing though. But yes, thank you very much for the bits. I appreciate that. And there we have it. The truth at last. Mr. Saint, you are Mr. Caddis's correspondence chess partner. And you were the one manipulating events this whole time. So, like, Canis didn't realize that it was going through somebody to go to Bronco. Like, he just thought it was actually with Simeon. Is that what we're saying? Oh, you're right. It was me. It was me all along. At last, he's finally telling the truth. I was the one who witnessed the murder 12 years ago, but you knew that already. The president's assassination, just as we thought. Which means he's the one who drew the picture. And they knew it too. That's why. Lagarde kept questioning me, day in and day out. It got so I couldn't face what I knew the next day would bring. I was a nervous wreck. Who can blame me for wanting to get out of there? But I imagine it wasn't as easy as simply running away. Winner would have sent his men after you. No matter where I went, they were on me. They never stopped coming. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. I couldn't sleep at night. Even the smallest noise had me chasing shadows. It drove me crazy. Okay, that's probably true. He seems a little crazy, like a little bit. Also, I should keep saving periodically. Oh, actually, I clicked outside of the options. So I joined the circus. At least that way, moving from place to place was part of the job. Let's save again. And I'll read a couple more comments in the chat. Let's see. Quigator says, screenshot it, Oak, huh? Oak said, okay, I've got it. Quigator says, salute. Eglin said, I don't remember the second rook or knight's pieces for some reason. I remember that spot next to the knight, the king being blank for some reason. See, that's how I felt about it, Eglin. Crystal said, I miss Wilson. Has Coach Wilson stopped streaming? I really was enjoying his content. Nora said, Madoka, yeah, no, I'm like episode 4, I gave up. Crystal said, it's been a year or two since his last stream. Oh, that makes me sad. Queen Katie said, I feel like I should tap on this clip again for y'all. What is this? Is this, okay, so is this one of your spoiler clips? So again, for anyone who's lurking who doesn't know the deal, Crystal, and a couple of other people sometimes make spoiler clips where I will accidentally foreshadow something, or maybe guess something correctly. So what was this clip again? The, Uno reverse? No, you're not a chisel. He believed in you. He knew he could count on you to bring it, and that you would never be so untrusting as to look inside. So Bronco was a good friend. He could trust you enough to use and manipulate you to commit crimes. And really, isn't that the greatest form of friendship there is? So I thought that Bronco was manipulating Simeon Saint, but Simeon Saint was manipulating Bronco the whole time. Yes. Quiggita said, also, I have wafers now. Also, you know what's kind of sad? This implies that Artie Frost was an abusive dad, ... Oof. Quiggita said, oh, Logan, we went down the same route. Simeon was, lol. Said, no, Logan, no! Eglin said, oh, I'm loving this. Quiggita said, noms on my wafer while I watch Logan falling for the wrong dads like Simeon did. Oak said, also, again, the game has the number and letters mixed up for some reason. Well, I think it's like the board is, yeah, like the board is reversed for how the grid numbers and letters should be. Yeah, it's weird. Nora says, no! Oak said, yeah, Bronco should not be nearly as excited as he was. He was barely winning and would have ended in a draw unless Canis is really bad at the game, which would mean Bronco is bad too. I mean, that could be good. I remember, like, when I was in high school, there was briefly a moment where I tried to join a chess club, although shortly thereafter they eliminated all non-academic related clubs. But, I remember I went there and I played a game of chess against this other kid who was like really good at chess. And I remember it got to the point where I was like just struggling, and this guy was mopping the floor with me. And so I had to change my strategy, and all it was about trying to force a stalemate. And I succeeded! I forced a stalemate on him, and I was so proud of myself because I was not winning that game. But at least I didn't lose. Quigita said, oh yeah, Logan, remember that time you posted a Penny and Sean art in the channel? Me and Spoiler Chat were boggled how you were not spoiled about Simeon since it had a lot of fan art, lol. In this form, I mean, it was insane. No, because I've avoided looking it up. I think what it is it because I post on Twitter, like the name of the game, that every now and then it'll like try to show me something from it. Unfortunately, that was like all that showed up. So no, I had not seen any of this. I was blindsided by this until we figured it out a few streams ago. So I guess I was just really lucky. But to be fair, I feel like if I saw that sprite, I would not know that's Simeon Saint. Because like, I wouldn't have guessed it, I don't think. Nora said, my hand was near my face and my thumb twitched and just stabbed my eye. I'm in immense pain. Nora, don't do that. Please don't do that. Also, don't have your hand by you, because then you'll try to like pluck your eyelashes. Don't do that either. Quigita said, I miss Vero. Oak says, me too. See, Vero, this is what people say when you're not here. Chris said, we miss Vero. Nora said, I can't open my eye. It hurts so bad. Oak at the time said, 1:23:45. Okay, now I'm more like just under a half hour behind in chat. I'm getting caught up. Hope I'll be able to see our new friend Dagger pretty soon. Oak says, Vero, we were just talking about how we missed you. Quigita said, Vero, did you see my DM? Vero said, hi. No, I didn't check Discord at all. Nora said, Vero, I stabbed myself in the eye with my finger. Please help me, I'm in immense pain. I feel like Vero is a parent. Not just a mod, but a parent to everybody. Because like, Vero, I poked my eye. Kiss it better. Vero says, girl, what? Eglin said, hot take, I think angel hair is the best. Oh, for pasta. Angel hair, like as far as the spaghettis, I will agree with you. As long as it's not too thin of angel hair. I like the angel hair that I usually get at the store. It's like not as thin as some, but anyway, that is pasta. That's pasta. Nora said, my finger tweaked out and just stabbed me in the eye. Eglin said, you can pry my super thin noodles out of my cold, dead hands. Or we could just let you eat your super thin noodles, Eglin, and then you can still be alive. Quigita said, at least it's not a pencil that happened to my old second grade friend of mine. He's okay now, but it was a scary thing. Oh, there's where Error came in saying, hello there. Quigita said, at least Logan didn't say pin. Oak says, it's not my fault. That is a sex act. I didn't invent that. I mean, I may have perfected it, but I didn't invent it. And there's Error saying, hi, IRL friend. Hi, are you still there, Error? Nora with some emotes. Oak says, what? Era said, I'm doing well, just working a lot. Oak said, I thought it was, the thought of Italian Simeon haunts me. Era with a face. Eglin said, I am trying to comfort one of my puppies, Violet, and no matter what happens, she screams. I hold her screaming, set her on my bed screaming. I don't understand her. I don't know enough about dog behavior to know what that might mean. I hope your puppy is okay. Oh, and there's Dagger saying, oh my gosh, first time watching live. Okay, so I got up to that point at least. Huh?
Potentially hot take. Everyone always talks about al dente pasta and how it has a nice firmness, but no. Soft pasta is the best. Al dente pasta sucks. Boo.
Was it here on stream that I recently for the first time found out what al dente means? Because I'd only recently discovered it. It's basically like slightly undercooked pasta, right? So it's still a bit too firm. I mean, I guess some things taste good uncooked, like cookie dough. I remember when I was a kid, sometimes I'd like to take a raw pasta noodle like that. But I don't know if I would want a whole plate of that, though. But thank you very much for the 10 bits. I appreciate that. Let me take a look over on YouTube real quick. Let's see. Opinion says, Simeon experiences guilt. Valtube said Bronco is just dumb. Opinion says that didn't he? Gets me every time. Well, it's so sad. It is nice seeing that he's not pure evil, that he does have some sympathetic emotions left in him. Toshi said, Grandpa Bronco needs some hearing aids. I'm dying. Opinion said, isn't Bruce a famous rich guy? I think his being an uncommon name would be worse than a common one. Exactly. If his first name was like John, but then it'd be John Wayne. And that's a famous person as well. I don't know. Opinion says, not that I know anything about superheroes. Valtube said, I love Simeon so much, I need to see him in a stage play. Toshi said, Bronco is dumb, but at least he isn't working at the very big circus. Valtube said, Toshi in AA2, that an insult, but AAI2, it's flattery. Remember what I said during the clip, Simeon couldn't hurt a fly, laughing. But my best one is, Gusto's son was a saint. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, there, at least I'm caught up on YouTube now. Finally. Hang on, I gotta scroll this thing here. Okay, let's play a little bit more of the game. Wait, where's the game? There we go. So I joined the circus. At least that way, moving from place to place was part of the job. My whole life I've been up against the chief prosecutor and the warden of a prison. No regular person could hope to stand up to people like that. From the time I was a child, I had nobody. But they weren't even the worst of it. The body double was behind it all, controlling everything. He may have been a fake, but he was the president of an entire country. What hope did I have? There was only one person I could turn to. Canis, the man who saved my life. He wasn't like Bronco. He really did want to help me. That's quite a claim. Strange to think of our famously ruthless assassin winning the admiration of the child he saved. I kind of like that trope. I mean, you guys have seen that sometimes in... I feel like you see it in anime quite a lot, where there'll be some like evil bad guy who then ends up like either befriending or adopting a small child. Oh, you know, a good example. Anybody here ever watch, it's kind of an older anime, but Inuyasha? You had Inuyasha's brother, Sesshomaru, and he ends up... I can't remember if he just found her, but there's like this girl that he basically adopts, this little orphan girl, and it like softens him, and he becomes a good, because you know what, in this case, Canis, yeah, he's a killer, he's an assassin, but it's like a job. He like is like, okay, I go kill this person, go kill that person, but he still has like a dog that he loves, and so he probably like, yeah, this kid, oh, he probably has friends, things like that, I think, maybe, I don't know. Strange to think of our famously ruthless assassin winning the admiration of the child he saved. He showed me how to stop being a victim, to stop being hunted. And become a hunter myself, and they all became my prey. But I doubt even you imagine that the body double would ever go so far as to co-opt our country's police. No, I sure didn't. And as long as Winner was around, no evidence was ever going to stand. Honestly, with this guy, I'm having flashbacks to Turnabout Storyteller with Uendo, and basically just having to keep track of multiple different voices. He even nearly managed to ruin things this morning. Lagarde almost got away with it. But I know him now like the back of my hand. I could see exactly how it was going to all go down. So he saw right through their plan. How Chairman Winnow would try to suppress the evidence in Warden Lagarde's trial. I see, and that's why you kidnapped Sean, correct? You wanted to force a guilty verdict regardless of the presence of evidence or the rule of law.
Objection.
Maybe I did, but how else was I going to make them pay for what happened 12 years ago? Is that a confession? Oh, is he admitting to the kidnapping at least? Because it sounds like he's admitted to being the kid and to knowing Canis and having the connection with the chess. But is he like actually... I mean, this all sounds like very confession-y to me. Gumshoe's here, right? We have an actual police officer here. He is saying this in front of the police. Even if he goes later, oh, you don't have any evidence. This is evidence! This conversation is evidence! Whatever helps you sleep at night. But Winner pulled one last surprise, didn't he? He tried to kidnap Sean himself in the hope of influencing the verdict. In other words, you chose the exact same course of action as the man you so fervently claim to hate. I mean, I guess that's poetic. That he's become what he hates.
Objection.
And that's only if I'd actually kidnapped anyone at all. But I'd never do anything so wicked, never ever me commit a crime. No. Okay, so he is still claiming not to be the mastermind. And besides, I don't hate the three of them. If anything, I'm grateful. If they hadn't done what they did, my revenge wouldn't have been nearly as fun. So you admit it? Your motive in all of this was nothing more than revenge. Sure, I admit it. So what? I despised every single one of them. But here's the kicker. I didn't kill anybody. I mean, I guess that's true. Bronco Knight killed Bastion Rook. Fifi Lagarde killed Bronco Knight. Carmelo Gusto killed Artie Frost. Excelsius Winner killed Rosie Ringer. Like, he manipulated people, and he definitely committed some crimes, but I think he might be telling the truth. Do we have anybody else who died? Like, even All Fall Down, I think we decided was killed by the body. Wait, no, President of Zhangfa. That's right, I forgot. President of Zhangfa, he was still killed by somebody. Somebody probably rigged it up so that Torosaurus head would fall down. So that's what we're gonna. Okay, I can't say nail him on. We can't say peg him on. This is what we are going to sweet and passionate intercourse him on. Huh? The most you can blame me for is writing the odd letter here and there. A quick note to Ringer to tell her about Winner, another to him so he knew about her. I mean, but y'all, kidnapping is still bad too, and he's kind of admitting that. But the fact they wanted to kill each other and one of them succeeded, that was all on them. So you take no responsibility for the fact that your actions resulted in multiple murders? Right, same thing at Gourd Lake. People are much easier to control than animals, you know. The whole fake assassination plot, huh?
Thank you, Logan, for not saying anything as inappropriate as nail a bag. Goo.
Oh, there's a long pause. You're welcome. I had a feeling you might appreciate that. I should catch up on the chat. I just know the last time I tried to catch up on chat, we lost like half of our lurkers, so I gotta be more careful with it. I'll just read a few comments here. For the sake of you lurkers that put up with me, that stick around to put up with me reading so much of chat, I appreciate you. You're wonderful. Let's see, Oak says, hey. Vera says, aha, yeah. Kwigita said, yeah. I was like, aw, Simeon's so cute and sad. And then when I got the reveal, I was like, oh, he's insane. I want 100 of that. Nora said, no, not a bad name. It's just, I mean, I guess I can say it's just weird. There's no freaking way I'd be your lover unless ... I mean, that's kind of a cute name. Vera said, it was pretty cool. And Dagger said, yeah, I watched your stream recording a metaphor yesterday. And I don't mind spoilers. Oh, awesome. So, I mean, is there one of the games that you're more into than the other? I just appreciate that, so thank you. So in that case, you've already seen how much I yap with all this. So thank you, Dagger. And thank you again for the follow. Vera said, Dagger, speaking of which, we almost had him. We almost won first try. Oh, we were so close. The more I was thinking about that like pretty much all day yesterday. And I kept thinking, it's like, I want to try it again. I want to try it again. Even if it ends up being off stream, I want to try fighting Luis with him at full power again. But we do need to actually beat the game, and so it'd be kind of selfish of me for the streams. I'm like, I'm just gonna have weeks and weeks of metaphor streams of just me trying that fight over and over again. Dagger said, yes, I'm so excited for him to win first try. Vera said, we were too, trust me. Dagger said, metaphor boss look a tad harder than Persona 1's actually. Yeah, I mean, I think just the very fact that you are able to lose extra turns and things like that. I mean, I like that you can gain turns when you get the weakness. At the trade-off is you don't have the all-out attacks and all that. But, I mean, it is definitely fair about that. Usually, the fact that Luis could just use the skill is like, all right, you got 2 turns. And I think we technically would have only had 1 normally if I didn't have the item that gives us like 1 bonus extra half a turn. Kwigita said, Vero, thoughts on Logan calling Yangtze River a shorter game compared to the other games? I had assumed it was shorter because it's indie, but I guess I was wrong. Oak said, yeah, I was genuinely shocked that Logan got close with full strength Luis, especially because this is Logan. Takaya is Chairman Logan. Persona 4 Logan. Sean is the Mastermind Logan. I was about to say I've gotten better at games, but that last one was in this one, so I guess not. Vera said, shorter than Metaphor, that's for sure. I'll say longer than AAI 2 or around the same length. Oh, wow. Because we started this game in, what, like January? December, maybe? I can't remember which. Kwigita said, facts for real, and don't forget Tabby is the Mastermind Logan. I know. Kwigita said, what timing on that? Vera with the lurk. See you when you get back. Thank you for the lurk, Vero. Castle says, that face when Logan does not get a little extremely basic and generic snack as a treat. I'm sure you could just pop out and get some of the store granola, man. I can't, though. That's the thing. Because that box, okay, so what it was, if you had checked on my Throne wish list, I had a thing that was a box of s'mores flavored Quaker granola bars. And the reason why I put it on there is because I can't, because I go to the Walmart by my house and they only have the multi-pack variety pack where it's chocolate chip flavored. peanut butter flavored and s'mores flavors. I just want the s'mores. I don't even like the peanut butter ones. The chocolate chip ones are fine, but it was like a box of just s'mores. But I appreciate your generosity nonetheless, Castle. And Vera says, Kitty is crying for food, then feed her, Vero. Oak says, low-key, I feel like reading every comment in chat is a genius marketing move on Logan's behalf, because it means his streams are like half chatting and half whatever game you're playing, so he gets a wide appeal of just chatting and the discoverability of the game he plays. I hadn't even thought of that. It was just because I like talking to y'all. I feel like it probably is annoying to the people who just want to see gameplay. So I don't know if it's genius, but it's what I prefer to do. Vera said, BRB, again, see when you get back from feeding the cat. Dagger says, it's crazy how you still understand what chat is talking about with a 40-minute delay. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I have to be reminded and I get very confused. But I try my best. Error says, I might be in both. So speaking of both, I should take a look over in YouTube. I might still be caught up there. Oh, no, a couple of comments. Valtube said, but, oh, no, I read that from the Valtube. Oh, only one comment on YouTube. Toby says, the film Leon the Professional has that trope, kind of. Oh, yeah, that's the one with, it was like Natalie Portman when she was like a little kid or something, right? And he was a French assassin or something like that. I haven't actually seen it, but I am familiar with its existence as a movie. Hang on, I gotta have a sip of water. But I mean, that's always fun, where it's like kind of the guy with like the dark and potentially murderous job. Oh, another example, Game of Thrones. Anybody ever watched it? How the Hound basically adopts, crap, what's her name? The young Stark girl with the really thin needle sword, Arya Stark. I mean, for a long time, they still want to kill each other, but eventually, like, they bond, which is really good that it's a slow burn with that. Oak says he spends his life behind in chat, so he has gotten used to remembering everything he said in the past hour. Logan is a magic man, a magic space-knowing man. Quicket said, quote, yeah, sorry, Simeon, your dad was evil. Dagger says, dang, good memories feels like a great streaming skill only streamers can achieve. Quicket said, yeah, Knight and Saint were, like, largely gay, lol. This is why they're so shipped in the fandom. Well, I remember when we saw the picture, I'm like, this is a gay family. Vera with the Unlurk, thank you so much for the Unlurk. Welcome back, Vera, and for the Unlurk. And Quicket says, ah, yes, Unlurk. Vera says, Crystal isn't here. Vera says, so it's okay. Crystal says, little do you know. And Magpie says, Magpie, am here, yes. I think about the Robins calling Batman Bruce too often a lot. They know better. Yeah, like when you're out in the field. It's one thing when you're back in the Batcave. But you don't, like, when you're out and you're like, oh, you just beat up some thugs and you tied them up and they're still conscious, like, hey, the Batman tied me up, it's so bad. And like, hey, Bruce, should we go get your butler, Alfred, and pick up one of, your other former Robin, Dick Grayson, former circus member, and then go meet up with daughter of Commissioner Gordon, Barbara Gordon, at your company, Wayne Enterprises? And it's like, why? Why did you say all that? Oh, pin message! Written by Queen Katie, pinned by Crystal, said, hey, Logan, I'm going to let you know right now you're at the end of the first testimony in this page. Is this still a testimony? Okay, now I should ask how many testimonies there are, because we're over 2 hours into the stream. So yes, very safe to say we're not finishing this game tonight. The whole fake assassination plot, I handed that to Bronco on a plate. That was part of his plan too. So Rook's murder was...
Objection.
No. That was all Bronco's idea. Nothing to do with me at all. Still, it moved things in the right direction, wouldn't you say? Isn't fate a crazy thing? You can't talk like that about a murder! Setting Lagarde up was easy too. I just made it seem like Knight and Canis were in contact with each other. And slipped the chisel inside the chess set. So it was you who put it in there! Yes, it was! Oh, I thought that might point everybody nicely in Canis's direction. Worked out pretty well, even if I do say so myself. Who knew that would be all it took to make that awful woman murder poor Bronco? I guess she got to where she just saw enemies everywhere she looked. I know the feeling. Even the smallest thing can send your paranoia into overdrive, and then things get ugly quickly. I had a front row seat for the whole show! You were the last piece to be put into play, of course. Who? Me? You You solved both cases and finally brought down Winner and Lagarde. I guess you could say your powers of deduction were the weapon that put an end to them both.
Objection!
I didn't solve those cases for your sake. Sure, you didn't know you were doing me a favor. You were just playing at being an attorney for a little while, right? I said earlier that Fender might turn out to be a twist villain and be on his side. He's not going to actually be a bad guy manipulating Edgeworth to solve these cases to help Saint, is he? I mean, Fender does like inappropriate hugs from 17-year-old girls, but that's bad, but at least he's not a murderer. What did you say? All I had to do was cower and say no, 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 no a few times. And you rode to my rescue like the hero you are. No! Was getting arrested part of your plan too? No, that was something I expected. Wasn't something I expected, I have to admit. I never thought they'd take the chisel for the murder weapon. That was a real plot twist. Made my blood run cold for sure. But then who should come through with the turnabout to end all turnabouts? The greatest legal mind of his generation! Oh, my knight in shining armor. I bet it felt pretty good saving me like that, huh? You ought to thank me, you know. I didn't do that. I don't do that for many people.
You're wrong! He wasn't playing at being an attorney! He was trying to help you! Because helping people is what Mr. Edgeworth does. Unless it's one of the mainline games, in which case, yeah, he's trying to get the truth, but he's also technically trying to get an innocent person convicted and executed. He helped me right when I needed it most.
Okay. Oh, did he? You're sure he wasn't just trying on his dear departed daddy's shoes for size?
No, that's not what he was doing. Believe me, I've been watching his feet. Not proud to admit it, but that's what I'm into. I would have known if he switched shoes.
Come on, K-Meister, don't let this clown get you down. He's projecting, plain and simple, painting other folks with his own grubby brush. It's not just that he doesn't trust other people. The poor kid doesn't even understand the concept. Doing something for somebody else's sake? Forget about it. He'll never understand.
You think I care what you have to say about me? Consider this for a second. I've gotten my revenge on everybody I set out to get it from. And yet... Oh, cross-examination, finally! You can't prove I incited anything other than the fact that I just admitted to inciting everything in front of a police officer, lawyers, and other witnesses. Testimony. Let's save again. So wow. We've gotten to a cross-examination. I think our goal is just probably going to be to get to the end of this cross-examination before the 3-hour mark. So let me read some more comments in the chat. Beer said, so it's okay. Crystal said, little did you know. Magpie says, oh yeah, I already read that. Quickita said, also, I'd like to say something funny in Simeon's head. He thought Bronco was following in his father's footsteps in murdering, because Bronco killed Rook in the first case, but nah, he lived to his father's footsteps in another way. As a victim. Please pin that lol. Oh, we got a clip from Oak. Hang on, let me load this up in the clip viewer. This will let me see a timestamp to see how far behind I am. So once again, if anybody joined us since the last clip, if you don't know the deal, anytime someone posts a clip in the chat, we load it up into our clip viewer so we can all watch it together. This clip is from 29 minutes ago, so I'm getting there. Titled, wait, Simeon, what did you say? Oh, it's this part. I'll have a sip of water while we're watching this. If you hadn't detained me 18 years ago, it wouldn't have had to end like this. Huh? Did you say something? Something implying that you're gonna get me killed? I really ought to pay better attention to my best friend whom I love dearly. Me? Oh, it was nothing. At least that showed that he had some conflict. Goodbye, Bronco. and farewell. Did you say something again? No, I'm not talking about that. Okay, just go over there. Enjoy your last night before you die. What are you saying? Nothing. I'm just gonna leave. I'm gonna leave you to your fate. What are you talking about? I really need to develop an inner monologue. I'm amazed you got that whole stupid bit into a single clip, so thank you for that. I appreciate it. I'll leave the clip of Europe for a second because I see that Oak has another clip in a moment. Vera said, on mobile, broken heart. Quigan said, man, salute. Eglin said, twirling my hair right now. Is it for Simeon Saint? Let's check out this other clip from Oak and see what this one is. How far behind is this one then? Oh, failed to determine content classification. Okay, I'm sorry that this clip isn't working. That's a new error that I have not seen before. But thank you very much, Oak, for the clips, whatever they may be. Eglin said, I like crazy B words, don't mind me. Dagger says, this is some handsome clown. I know you could like, you could just sense the squeeze of delight. But I don't mean squeeze like that, but plural of squeeing. From everybody in the chat who's into dudes when this reveal happened last time. Nora said, I might go play Yongxi with my mom, chat. I said, Lurk, I'll be back before the end of stream. Thank you for Lurk, Nora. See you when you get back. Oak says, Twitch, why do you have to do that to me? Dagger said, the foreshadowing thing is so fun. I know, it's great. And yeah, Dagger, so Queen Gator has this great thing with spoiler clips and has created an entire Discord server that I'm not allowed on, where people who have played these games like talk and gossip about things when I guess things and I'm totally wrong. I only really post the accurate guesses for the most part onto like TikTok and YouTube. So everybody there thinks I'm really good at this, but I'm not. I'm very, very bad at this. Veer said, sorry chat, I need to step away for a bit. I have a bad headache. I'll come back when it lessens. Salute. I'm sorry, Vera, please we'll make sure you take care of yourself. I hope you get feeling better. I hope, like, if you're able to take something for it, I hope it helps. Oak said, feel better soon, Vero. We love you. Quiggity with a salute. And Castle says, al dente fresh pasta is great. Al dente dried pasta, ... So maybe that's what I need. Try it, like, fresh out of the pot. Magpie says, yeah, Inuyasha. Crystal says, Inuyasha. Quiggity said, Logan, why did you bring up Inuyasha? I know who you're talking about, and I'm sad to tell you they got married in the sequel anime. Wait, so Shomaru got married to the little girl he was raising? I don't like that. I do not like that at all. I do like the fact that Sesshomaru, I'm pretty sure, was voiced by David Kaye, the same voice of in Transformers of Beast Wars Megatron and animated Optimus Prime. But that kind of puts a sour spin on things. Queen Katie, Crystal says, rest and get well to Vero. And then Crystal says to Queen Katie, what? Oak said, yeah, Edgeworth, have you no knowledge of anime tropes? Queen Katie said, yeah, look it up. They did end up together and they have twins. Castle said, every time I see Simeon's tongue, I remember Girahim and Perish. Oh, from Skyward Sword? Cass said, love wins, but we ... don't. Quicket said, better than Bunny Drop. Oh man, I had a fun fact about the game, but of course the AA wiki is down. Never mind, we good. Dagger says, I feel like this is actually a crime? No? Yeah, I mean, there are crimes. We haven't got him on murder, but I still think that it'll turn out that he killed the president's body double who took over the presidency. Because that one. Because everybody needs to be found guilty of murder in these games. All right, let's see what his testimony actually says here. Actually, I'll read a couple comments over on YouTube. Duro says, while I agree with the Bruce thing, the inverse is much funnier, imagining Bruce Wayne in a board meeting and someone just casually calls him Batman. Oh, I love that. How often do you think he actually calls, like, the various kids Robin in real life? Because, like, that's the whole thing with Batman. Don't they say that Batman calls himself Batman in his head, so he probably calls all the kids Robin in his head? Derma says, well, that's ruined Inuyasha for me. Maybe it could just ruin that one character, just Sesshomaru. Think about it, I never actually did anything. What's my crime exactly? Explain it to me. You think you can pin an incitement charge on me? Read my letters. I don't mention murder anywhere. If I did, maybe you'd have a case. Maybe you could say I encouraged them. But it's the same story as always, I'm afraid. You can't prove I did anything at all. That's not true! You kidnapped me! Sorry, but did I miss the part where you proved that? All I ever admitted to was sending letters. Letters which didn't threaten, coerce, or encourage anybody to do anything. I just passed on what you might call pertinent information. Gah!
He's a slippery one, I'll give him that. There's gotta be something we can do. What about this? Excitement stuff he's talking about. He excited people to commit crimes, which I understand. Because being a thief is exciting. Oh, it excites me to steal.
Incitement, K. It means to encourage or direct another person to commit a crime. In the eyes of the law, it's seen as equivalent to committing the crime itself.
So that we just need to prove that he told them to do it.
You say that like it's going to be easy. Guess maybe you're not so big on due process after all. You think you can make me carry the can for murders I had nothing to do with? Think again. I don't even have to talk to you if I don't want to. In fact, why am I still talking to you? In fact, why did I reveal my evil face to you? Why did I have these animals pull down my hair? Why don't I just keep acting all nice? I'm making a lot of strange decisions today.
Not so fast. Yeah, I can think of one reason. The tent is surrounded. There's nowhere left to run.
Really? You don't think I planned my escape too? Oh. Well, he's probably got his hot air balloon loaded and ready, right? What if, just to pluck an idea out of nowhere, I'd trained all of these vicious wild beasts to attack on command, for example? Yes, I'm so scared of his juggling chipmunks. I mean, the lion and the gorillas and tigers and things like that in cages, yeah, alligators, whatnot. I don't know what other animals they got. The elephant, yes, but I mean, they're in cages. All I'd have to do is say the word, then sidle off stage in the chaos. I feel like you saying that you would do that would give the police justification to train their guns on you right now in case you did that. And then, yeah, you're shot. You're dead, bro.
What? You wouldn't.
I'm just spitballing, but you'd pay to see that, wouldn't you? I could just as easily take Sean hostage with the gun I may or may not have in my pocket. Yeah, you know what?
That would make for a killer show.
You would do no such thing. It's hard to know what lengths he might actually be prepared to go to, but knowing what we know about him already, we have to be prepared for the worst. Fine, I'll humor you, but once the curtain goes up on this little performance, it better be a lively one. Bore me and we're done. All right, let's see if you can keep me entertained, shall we? Huh?
Check his pocket, then BRO. That line is probable cause.
Yeah, you know, yeah, you could say like,
Boo.
yeah, oh, you're absolutely right. That is probable cause. Like the fact that you said you may or may not have a gun, police should go give you a pat down. If they find a gun, boom, yeah. Especially since this is Japanifornia, not technically Japan again, but they seem to have the laws of Japan. In Japan, non-police officers, like private citizens, like a circus clown, ain't allowed to carry a gun, right? So I think maybe, but thank you very much for the 10 bits, Oak. I appreciate that. Also, you probably can't see it behind my head, but this one seems extra. This is taken like, it looks like over a quarter of my life if I get this one wrong. Let's save again. Actually, no, because we're going to go into the cross-examination. We'll save at the start of the cross-examination. Ah, he's not going to give me an inch. That man usually gives me at least a few of those.
Also, either way, he was threatening a 10-year-old. There is so much evidence against Simeon RN. Boo.
Yes, yes. I feel like that's true with all these Ace Attorney games. People always be up on the stand saying like, oh yeah, maybe I did this. Maybe I murdered this person. Oh, it's like the people who like threaten. Remember when we had Paul Attition up on the stand who was like openly threatening to have Maya killed on the stand, and the judge is just like, oh, I'm just imagining going home to see my wife today. I mean, it's yes. But thank you very much for the 10 bits there. Oh, I appreciate it. He's not going to give me an inch, but there must be something we can do. We can't let his crimes go unpunished. You can't prove I incited anything. Rebuttal. All right, you guys know the deal. We save at the beginning of these cross-examinations. We press every statement, and then we figure out where we're going to present evidence, but I should read some more in the chat real quick. I am slowly getting caught up. I think when we look at those clips, I was only like a half hour behind, right? Let's see. Queen Gitta said, fun fact, by the way, Judy Bound is the only culprit in Prosecutor's Gambit who is not directly connected to the mastermind's motives or intentions throughout the game. She's the girl boss who just did what she wanted. She wanted to save her own dad. I don't know if we'd even call her necessarily the culprit of, like, the culprit. She committed crimes, but like the culprit of that chapter was Carmelo Gusto, right? Like she did some bad stuff, but she wasn't the murder culprit, you know? Castle said, why have you done this to me? Why are we here? What are we doing? Oh, saying to Queen Katie about the, was that? Oh, better than bunny drop. Do I need to look up that? What is that? I kind of glossed over that, I guess, when Queen Katie said that. What is bunny drop? Quick getting with the timestamp 2:04:20. I'm only 20 minutes behind. I'm getting there. By the way, we are almost to the 2.5 hour mark. So now's a good time to start keeping an eye out for raid suggestions for later on when we reach the 3 hour mark. Over on YouTube, Dermo says, if I had a penny for every series ruined by a really weird development at the last part, I'd have quite a lot of pennies, actually. One of the things I love about this game is how every case ties into the final one. I have mixed feelings about that. I mean, this game is very well structured. It's a very tight story where everything is important. But I also do kind of miss the early Ace Attorney games where it felt like a lot of individual adventures. But I think I'd feel better about it if this was more unique to the investigation series, where everything is like all one big case with lots of little parts to it. But that's also what like Dual Destinies and Spirit of Justice kind of became. Spirit of Justice, I guess, at least had 2 cases that were standalone, but thematically relevant. But I kind of miss the little fun one-off adventures every now and then. So if it wasn't, I think if I'd played this before Dual Destinies and Spirit of Justice, I would appreciate it much more, if that makes sense. But it is a very tight story, Dermo, so I agree with that. Let's see, Quicken said, hey, Logan, I'm gonna let you know right now you're at the end of the first testimony on the page. Dagger said, so that's why there's like 60 ? Parts for AI2 walk 3. Yes. We're on, what part are we on? I think we're on 50. We're still in the 50s. We're getting close, though. I think 51. Yeah, Dagger, we have a command here. Is it Logan time? Is it ! Logan time? It usually takes me about 2.5 times as long as normal people to play a game. And I think it's probably gotten worse because that was before I spent quite so much time just yapping with chat. Oak says, yeah, Logan is very slow at games. Castle said, wait, evil guy adopting a young girl? May I recommend Nimona? Oh, that's the one with the girl who's like a dragon person, right? I think. I still haven't seen that. It looks good. Crystal said Logan is the yappiest of all yapping of the yappers. Oh, Gene is still here, said Nimona is really good. I need to watch that. Also, did you guys see that there's the sequel to Bad Guys is coming out, which we watched as a Discord movie night a couple of months back? Queen said you're about to start 2 of 4. Okay, so maybe next time we might be able to beat the game? Dagger said to Crystal, and that's beautiful. I'm glad you enjoy the yapping, Dagger. Queen says, Crystal, could you pin my message, please? Heart. Who's worse, Redacted, final culprit for Justice for All, or Simeon Saint? I'd say Simeon, honestly, because he did more damage, but Redacted is crazier mentally. That is a good question. I'd have to think about that. I feel like Redacted from Justice for All did a lot more stuff directly. But then again, like, an argument could be made that the manipulation is also that is a tough call. Quick said, at least I don't have any more spoiler clips, so we're just sitting by as Logan attempts to beat up Simeon Saint hard. Said, hey, what do you get if you take at out of Saint? Oh, you get sin. Yeah, Quick says sin. Castle says, I think Redacted would have done more damage if the game recognized the effects of his corruption on Redacted workplace, but purely that's portrayed in-game. Simeon. Quick said, yeah, ? Twitch, what do you mean content classification? Crystal says, which one? Okay. Oh, and ValTube is here on Twitch saying, oh, here's ValTube. Can I join the spoiler chat? Or I'm too new. I think Queen Katie and Beowulf are the ones in charge of that. So you might want to talk to one of them. I don't know what the rules are for that. So yeah, let's play a little bit more here. So we gotta, like I said, we gotta press every statement, then we're gonna figure out where we're gonna present evidence. Think about it. I never actually did anything. What's my crime exactly? Explain it to me. Hold it! You encouraged others to commit murder, and those murders were duly committed. And if I can prove it, you will be punished just as if you had done the deed yourself. Yeah! What is the word for it again? I forgot already. Inclement. Incommitment. Incommitment. Incitement, K. He's gonna have to deal with 2 kids that do that now that he's gonna adopt Eustace. Chairman Winner, Warden Lacard, and Bronco Knight. All were criminals in their own right, and all committed unforgivable acts. But all were induced to commit those acts by somebody behind the scenes. This man right here! You really don't hold back, do you, Miles? But it doesn't change anything. You think you can pin an incitement charge on me? Read my letters. I don't mention murder anywhere.
Hold it!
Nowhere at all? What, you didn't look? I can give you a minute if you like. He's clearly confident that I won't find anything. He must have planned those letters down to the last word. Yeah, it's, what do we call it? Plausible deniability, right? Look, I don't want to teach you how to do your job. But if you can't prove I encouraged them to commit those murders, your incitement charge goes up in smoke. Too bad. So sad, huh, Miles? If I did, maybe you'd have a case. Maybe you could say I encouraged them.
Hold it!
I know for a fact that you made those murders happen. Yeah, there's something I need to tell you. Truth is, I was the one who made Big Bad Chairman Winner kill Little Miss Rosie Ringer. I feel like this flashback is the Ikuru, crap, what was the name? Ikuru Mukusaba? Crap, what was this 16th student's name? Ikuru Mukusaba, something like that. It's been so long since I played Danganronpa. We keep flashing back to this one scene. What? You told me yourself!
Objection!
Did I? And you can prove it? If you can't, this ends here. We still have that recording that Tabby Lloyd made. Maybe we can unscramble it and like detect him saying those things. But even then, I think he like used a voice modulator or something, right? Just ask yourself, could this sweet, innocent boy have done those things you're saying? No. I hate to admit it, but he's right. Without proof, we have nowhere to go with this. If we could only prove what he said on that phone call. Oh, so okay, that was a hint. So it's gonna be that, and it'll be the Tabby Lloyd recording, most likely. But it's the same story as always, I'm afraid. You can't prove I did anything at all.
Hold it!
Quote, the same story as always, end quote, question mark. What do you mean by that? What does that matter? That's not important here. You know it is important, though. That you can prove nothing. Nothing! Until we have some way of showing that he's guilty, we're just going to continue floundering. Either I thrust items of evidence in front of him and hope for the best, or I go over it all one more time. Whichever method I choose, proof is the only way we're going to get anywhere here. So yes, player, I'm encouraging you to brute force this. He confessed to me over the telephone. He told me he was the one who made Chairman Winner kill Rosie Ringer. I just need to find a piece of evidence that proves what was said on that call. Okay, so that was the third statement, right? It's gonna be this one. So let's save, and then it's probably gonna be the recording. We'll review everything in the court record, or organize, or whatever, just to be sure.
Thrusting and hoping for the best, Edgeworth's preferred type of date with Phoenix.
I mean, because, you know, sometimes you just don't, you don't know who's got which role. You don't know who's doing what, and so you just start, both of you just start at one end of the room, start doing some thrusting, meet in the middle, and hopefully have a good time. I assume. I'm not gay, and I can't even get a date with like a girl, and so I just guess, I assume that's what happens. That's probably the ritual, right? When people are ready to do it, they just start opposite ends of the room, just start like thrusting, and then just slap into each other. But thank you very much for the 10 bits, Oak. I appreciate it. I gotta read some more in the chat. Let's see. Crystal says, which one? Oh, I read that. Crystal says, hi, Val. ValTube says, hi. Crystal says, you have Discord? Quicken said, what about how many testimonies Logan has left? Eglin said, went to look on character AI for Simeon St. Bots. So many of them are listed as Simon Keys. Funnily enough, it also brings so many Simon Ghost Riley bots. I still need to figure out how to do character AI stuff. Huh, but
I can't believe Logan was able to so perfectly understand how gay relations work. You're exactly right. Boo.
I think it's because I've played so many of these Ace Attorney games. You get a feel for it. You get a real feel for it after a while. But thank you very much, Oak, for the 10 bits. I appreciate it. Let's see. ValTube says, yes, I'm even in the main Logan Discord. Cass says, by fresh pasta, I mean pasta dough that's just made. Oh, okay. Still wiggly even when raw. Grocery store pasta boxes is pasta dough when it's been dried. Okay, so yeah, I don't think I've ever tried it like freshly, that fresh then. So I don't know how I'd go about getting that. Quicket said, then you would contact Beowulf or so, because I trust them to judge on newcomers when I'm unsure. We also have different roles for different games, so you won't get spoiled on some of them. Dagger said, since when Sate has a law degree? I feel like everybody in this game acts like they know at least enough of the law to just be able to say, you can't prove it. You can't prove it. I know my rights. Gene says, does anyone like angel hair pasta? Oh, Eglin was just talking about angel hair pasta. Quicket, and as I said, I like it as well. Quicket said, or even Crystal, actually. I also trust Crystal for trust stuff. Eglin says, me. ValTube says, okay, Beowulf is their user on Discord too. I can't remember if Beowulf might have a couple of numbers after it or not on Discord, but it's Beowulf, yeah. Gene with a smile. Crystal says, yup. ValTube says, thanks. Quita said, the one after, but you don't have to pin it now. Logan can see it later. Logan's catching up decently, so I can wait. Salute. Dagger says, what's... Oh, the 07, yes. 07, it's supposed to be a person's head and an arm up like that. Quita said, it's a salute. The O is the head, and 7 is the arm saluting, and Dagger says, oh, thanks. And ValTube says, Judy, my beloved! And with some raid suggestions. I'll copy those... Yeah, I'll copy those over right now. While I go and also... check out YouTube to see if there are some more comments over there. Thank you very much, Oak. I appreciate that. Let's see. Oh, and Eglin's over there now. It said cooking right now. So I'm moving over here for a second. Mukuru Ikusaba. That's what it was. I was getting like the syllables all jumbled up. Mukuru Ikusaba. Yes, yes. Toshi says Ace Attorney spreading the gay agenda Q. I mean, weren't you guys the ones who told me that the character designer, at least for the original series, was like a yaoi artist? That's why their hands are so like big and detailed. I mean, look at the details on this bro's hands. You could do like a palm reading on this guy with this much detail. All right, so let's try this. We're gonna present some evidence. Again, I'm assuming it's gonna be Tabby Lloyd's recording. Where is it here? Ms. Lloyd's tape. Recording of signals that were intercepted from the bug that was planted on Kay's pin. So let's just check everything else really quickly to be sure. Yatagarasu pin, bug was hidden inside. Forged letter. Big Giga building, creature feature flyer, monster footprints, Wang's autopsy, Torosaurus head. That's got to be important later. We're probably going to pin the actual murder of Wang on this guy eventually. Torosaurus plush, behind the scenes photo, movie set lock, security camera footage, Ms. Hart statement. Blue truck, Sean's rehearsal tape, mechanics gloves, IS7 incident case file report on Knight's possessions, bug, Ms. Lloyd's tape, bouquet, sedative, SS5 incident case file, the fire, Mr. Alldown's autopsy report, the bloody button, Mr. Alldown's photograph, Mr. Alldown's final call, victim's shoes, mysterious bloodstain, child's drawing, correspondence chest diagram, and lion hot air balloon. So yeah, it's got to be the Tabby Lloyd recordings. We just saved, so let's try it.
Objection!
Oh, crap, it's not? I did remember to save, right? I think I saved. Mr. Saint, this piece of evidence.
Objection!
Put it away, Miles. Just put it away. I haven't even finished speaking yet. Yeah, you really don't need to. I know a bluff when I see it, and this isn't even a good one. It's written all over your face. What kind of face am I making? He's a slippery customer, Miles Areno, that's for dang certain. It's fine, Fender. I'm not about to give up. I was hoping you'd say something like that. Well, back to it. I'll just be cheering you on from over here. I'm not gonna actually help. Just gonna cheer.
I'll bet you're about to drop a logic bomb that'll blow this case wide open.
I hope so. Either way, we'll get to the truth in the end. For our new friends, Dagger and Jean, I'm a shameless save scummer that scums my saves. So we are going to reload that part and try again. Because the way Edgeworth kept talking about the phone call, it's got to be either that or the bug. Maybe I just did the wrong statement. It could be this one where he says, you can't prove anything. We'll show we can prove that at least. Because this is talking about letters. Hang on, let's take a look at the, well, no, I was going to say the forged letters. Let's look at them real quick, because I assume he forged these ones as well. So much, thanks so much for agreeing to help with my plan. Now we can both get what we want. Good luck getting your revenge for what happened 12 years ago. That sounds like an incitement. That's encouraging Rosie Ringer to go in and try, although she ended up being the one who got killed. Let's try a different statement. Let's try right here where we said you can't prove anything I did at all. Let's try and present the recording there.
Objection!
There we go. Okay, so it's just the wrong statement. I'm afraid you're wrong. I have proof that you meant for at least one murder to happen. Because you said so yourself.
Yeah, there's something I need to tell you. Truth is, I was the one who made Big Bad Chairman Winner kill Little Miss Rosie Ringer.
What? I said that? Weird. I don't remember. Shrugging, shaking my head. I know you think you can worm your way out of everything, but this time you're wrong.
I am.
Yes, because our conversation was being recorded by somebody intercepting the signal from the very listening device you planted. Oh, we got a pin message on Twitch. Written by Queen Katie, pinned by Crystal, said, I have the guide, do yell, whatever. Well, I got it eventually, but thank you for being there on standby in case I needed it. Queen Katie, I appreciate it. Dagger says, I think that threatening someone in court is a reason for some kind of warning from the judge, but I don't know. Dagger, you'd be amazed at what people get away with in this universe. Other than murder. Murder you get punished for. Everything else, perjury, everybody perjures themselves. Everybody, yes. Like, no other crimes seem to get punished for some reason. Gene says, by the way, what's a raid? Oh, Gene, so are you new to like a lot of Twitch stuff then? A raid is where at the end of the stream, we initiate a raid and it takes all of the viewers that we have and it sends them all at once over to a specific channel so that they don't just, like when the stream ends, they leave. It kind of just helps out somebody else by sending the viewership. And sometimes people get there and they'll be like, I don't want to watch this game or I'm tired or whatever, they'll leave. But it gives people the opportunity to keep watching, but just a different channel and show some support. Does that make sense? Quick said, no, Logan, don't get into bunny drops. What is that? So it's about the man who took in a child who was apparently blood related to him, very wholesome, sweet, adorable. The anime ended at a very nice point in the manga. Okay, so it's an anime. The manga had an arc afterward with a time skip to high school. Turns out, not related at all. And they got married at the end of the manga. Well, now I need to Google this and see what this what bunny drop manga series. Well, it's just a tiny little kid. This is horrible. Why would you do that? Castle says, I'm reminded of Jacob from Twilight. Oh yeah, because didn't he? Okay, I've only ever seen one of the Twilight movies. I think I explained the story once before, but a buddy of mine from high school, when he got married, I was his best man at his wedding. And his then fiance, now wife's maid of honor was also single like me. And so the two of them tried to like set us up. And we I think we tried going out on a date, but we didn't really there wasn't any spark. I mean, she's a great person, but so we decided the two of us were friends-in-law because, or at least I decided. I can't remember if I ever ran that name behind the name past her, but we're friends-in-law because our best friends got married to each other, so we're friends-in-law. And then for a while, we were actually going to the same location for church on Sunday mornings, so we'd hang out and talk. And she was great, but she was always a very outdoorsy type of person. She was into sports, running around outside, hiking, things like that. Not really into pop entertainment like I am. And so she never really watched TV or movies or read books or anything like that. And so one day I found out that she started reading books. She started reading the Twilight books, and I never actually read them. And I was just trying to like encourage her to be into more kind of that type of thing. And then she decided she wanted to watch the Twilight movies. And I'm like, okay, well, here, how about I'll watch the first one with you. I watched it with her. Not good. Not a good movie. It wasn't for me. I didn't watch any of the ones after that. But I did hear that like later on in the series, apparently Jacob hooks up with Bella's daughter. Like he's in love with Bella. And then like Bella has a baby, and I think the baby like ages up fast, and Jacob, it's weird. It's weird. I don't understand it. Magpie says, why is anime like that? And then Queen Katie with Logan time command. Crystal says, bringing chatters to another stream. Castle, oh, that's another raid suggestion. So let me copy this one down as well. Thank you very much, Castle. And if anybody else has raid suggestions, also feel free to list. Oh, hang on, I gotta click this thing here. There we go. Gene says, oh, okay, thanks. Queen said, honestly, regardless of bunny drops, I'm so glad the anime creator saw the manga was going and went, nope, we're ending on a good point. We refuse to be flamed for this. No time skip. We're ending on the cute girl era. And then Crystal with a bunch of raid suggestions as well. I will check those out in a minute. Let me have a sip of water, though. Let me glance over to YouTube. Opinion says, okay, I managed to partially zone out and lose track of time for like an hour. I think it's a sign to go to bed. Good night, all. I'll be thinking of Eustace. I just want everyone to know I love her. Good night, Opinion. So good having you here. Sleep well. Appreciate you hanging out. And Toshi says to Opinion, good night. Okay, let's play a bit more here of the game. Because we still got like 15 minutes, so last call for raid suggestions. I see Crystal has some. I'll copy those over in a minute, though. By somebody intercepting the signal from the very listening device you planted. It was? F. You got your conversation with the clown here on tape? That's what you're trying to tell us? No! Lang Z says, a schemer's schemes will swallow him in the end. Ms. Lloyd, could you play us the tape, please? I thought it just, like, only detected signals and wasn't intelligible. Oh, you bet I can. Oh, I gotta rewind it. Oh, there we go. Got it. It was this part right here.
Mr. Edgeworth, that's Judge Gavel's cell phone.
But we still gotta be able to prove that it actually is him saying these things. We can't just say that because he has a voice modulator. He doesn't identify himself by name. Who is this? You're the one who abducted Kay.
I can't hear Mr. Edgeworth.
Sorry. Beep. It was right around here. I was as surprised as mumbling garbled stuff. Huh? Well, that's weird. Is something wrong, Ms. Lloyd? I'll say. Seems we maybe didn't quite catch the next part on tape. What? I mean, I feel the fact that like Edgeworth and Kay are both witnesses of that event corroborating with one another. That's evidence, right? Eyewitness testimony is evidence. As long as Edgeworth doesn't prosecute the case, that's evidence. He'd just be called to testify.
Why? How can he not be on there?
Oh, poor babies. You think I'd leave myself wide open like that? Well, think again. There's something a little special about that bug, you see. So now he's admitting to planting the bug. The person who called us was the person who planted. He's admitting it. And it was planted by the person who kidnapped Kay. He is admitting to these crimes. It can be turned on and off remotely.
What? I never knew they make those.
Remote control bugs? Sure, they exist, but... So you switched it off to avoid being recorded? Oh, because that's right, because Tabby was intercepting the signal from the bug, not the cell phone. Bingo!
Objection!
But how? See, but he just admitted that he was the one on the other end of the call, and Edgeworth and Kay are witnesses that he confessed on the call. That is enough. That is enough to convict him. We have a mountain of circumstantial evidence and then 2 eyewitness testimonies. You would have had to know you were being recorded in the first place.
Objection!
And I did. Of course I did. It was so obvious that someone was eavesdropping, and that's because Ms. Lloyd, was it? You knew about the kid prosecutor's kidnapping without any prompting. She knew that... Did she? Did she know that Eustace had been kidnapped? No. You heard the whole conversation. I did indeed, old pal. But I must say, I thought you would have figured it all out much sooner. Aren't you supposed to be a genius, prosecutor? Now, where were we again? Oh yeah, at the part where if you couldn't prove incitement, it was game over. Oh well. Again, there's so many witnesses here. Let's save again, and I'll read some more in the chat. Oh, pin message, Castle said, I think Saint has no more soup in his brain. It's just the empty Campbell's can at this point. Oh boy, thank you for the pin message there, Castle. Okay, I got to copy over these raid suggestions that Crystal has here. Thank you very much, Crystal, for these raid suggestions. I will copy these over into my text file right now to be able to check these out in a little bit. How much time we got? We got like 10 minutes till the 3-hour mark. That's still a little bit of time. Do you guys think we can still beat this game tonight? Valtube said, Logan is such a performer. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because I feel like that is like one step away from calling me a theater kid or something like that. But honestly though, that is how I see streaming. I think a lot of people just see streaming as like, I'm playing video games and people watch me when I do the thing. I personally do try to look at everything because it's like, it's performing in front of an audience. And that's what I enjoy doing. So I'll take it as a compliment. Crystal says, Mukuro Iku Saba. Okay, the question is, for Crystal and Eglin, who both mentioned that, did either of you have to look up the spelling, or am I just dumb for being like the one person who forgets how that name is said and spelled? Let's see. Valtube said, I miss playing this game. Castle says, hot dating tip. Maybe don't do that on a date. Wait, don't do which on a date? I mean, I guess it doesn't matter for me, because, spoilers, Chad, I am not getting a date anytime soon. Valtube says, I have made quite a few character AI bots. I just need to look into how they work. I never got around to it. Dagger said, but do people with dates have time for fun games? Quiggita said, I sure hope that's a typo, lol. You meant maid, right? Not mate. And Valtube says, exactly. Castle says, dating hot tip, you can ask to play fun games on dates instead of thrusting randomly. I just assume that's like, I mean, that's only a first date activity. I would certainly hope not. I certainly wouldn't want to do that. I just assume that's something that people do based on like hearsay and anecdotes. See, Dagger says crying at Castle saying that. Crystal says, ayo. Cricket said, I have the guide, do yell, whatever. Dagger says, dang, I can't draw with stream on background as I plan to invest in the chat. Oh, so I hope that means that you are enjoying the stream then. Oak said, that's a problem, chat is so fun. Valtube says, true. Crystal says, chat is fun because chat chats. And when chat chats, you can't help but chat with chat and enjoy the chat. Valtube says, exactly. Dagger said, save scumming is legit because why having the save system if you can't scam? Yes, thank you. I'm just using the game mechanic. Let's see, Quiggita said, yay, go Logan, go! And then Quiggita says to Dagger, yeah, when I was playing the fan translation version of this game, I did so many save states in the game because I wasn't big brain. Valtube said, doesn't the game autosave anyways, or am I misremembering? It does autosave, but it only has like one autosave slot, and I feel like, I could be wrong, but I feel like when you present wrong evidence, I think it autosaves like right after that to try and make it so that you lose the hit points. But I could be wrong. Crystal says, if we can't save scum, what's the point of save slots? Dagger says, exactly. Quiggita says, yeah, but sometimes autosave will save after the mistake law. See, so better manual saves, honestly. Valtube says, oh. Quiggita said, yeah, every time there's a new manga or anime featuring a cute dad and daughter, everybody instantly goes, please don't pull a bunny drop, because we don't want to do stuff, don't want that stuff to happen more often. I had assumed it was like an activity, like a bunny drop, like an Easter egg event. You know, that maybe there's a chocolate bunny and you, I don't know, drop it from a helicopter and kids have to find it. I don't know. Crystal says, I once dropped an anime because of the same plot. I think it was titled, quote, even if I face the demon lord, I'll do anything for my daughter. He married the daughter, in quotes, he adopted and raised. Queen Kitty said, from my experience, this only happens one other time with a dad who adopted a cute demon girl. But be warned, Logan, if you watch that kind of anime and they do a time skip, don't trust the writers. They will get married later. Quigita said, yes, Crystal, we have the same brain. Dagger said, I wonder what kind of thought process goes behind the description to create a heartwarming story about parenting and then making them a couple? What? Quigita said, yeah, right. Castle said, love wins. Parentheses, we don't. Dagger said, why are we losing this game? Crystal said, like, can you all just end it with a found family plot without the grooming? The F? Queen said, like, if you're so attached to your daughter that you see as a daughter, then time skip happens. Does that really wipe all of the daughter memories from your brain? I don't know. I've never experienced a time skip, personally. I don't know what happens to people when they do that. Crystal says, oh, I just realized we talked about the same anime. Crystal said, but she's grown in now. Queen said, I actually was watching the anime I never finished, then I found out from word of mouth online. Dagger said, even if it's not parenting instinct or whatever, aren't you like too old to be interested in young girls at this point? Crystal said, like, I was 3 episodes in, the anime is amazing, then I saw the ending chapter on TikTok. Dagger said, I hope I don't sound weird. Quigita said, nah, you're good, Dagger. Valtube said, this game is so smart, yet so dumb. Crystal said, nah, you're real, Dagger. Castle says, you actually sound extremely normal and sane with that take law. Crystal says, average ace attorney case, to be honest, laughing. Dagger said, thank you, chat, I'm glad I'm nor actually insane. Eglin said, isn't he admitting this in front of several lawyers and a judge? Yeah, oh yeah, because we've got a judge with Gavel. And I believe Gumshoe is here, so a police officer, yes. Crystal said, the way my reaction to that anime manga was, oh cool, father-daughter bonding, to what the F? Castle says, I think Saint has no more soup in his brain. Oh, that was just a minute ago, so I gotta be really close to catching up over on YouTube. Let's see, Toshi says, even Edgeworth didn't open the organizer to check the ages of the 6 people he met in his entire life to find the mastermind. Well, I guess, yeah, in our version, I eventually figured it out though, Toshi. Actually, what time is it? Should I just motor on through and finish catching up to chat? I'm gonna save just in case the game crashes. I can't remember if we saved here or not. Have we made somewhat decent progress here? Dagger says to Castle, what about the stew? Eglin said, finished cooking, made pasta salad. Eglin said, you know what ended up being a good anime with the concept? Buddy daddies traded the incest for gay fathers, even though they kept telling us otherwise. I feel like I saw something about that. Is that the one where they're like 2 mafia guys that adopt a little kid or something? Or am I thinking of a different one? Castle says he's stewing in his crimes. Valtube said, Logan, can you sing the March of the Saints with Simeon Saint's voice? Oh, is that when the Saints go marching in? Is that the song? I can try. Is that the, yeah. So it's Simeon Saint down here. Oh, when the Saints come marching in. Oh, when the Saints come marching in. I would like to be in that number. When the Saints go marching in. Is that the right one? Is that what you wanted? Did I do it right? Crystal says, the seasoning and ingredients are there, but no more soup. Eglin said, Logan, aren't you a theater kid? I mean, in the sense that I used to be a kid who did theater and was the president of my high school drama club my senior year. But I've mentioned this before. I felt I had friends in like multiple different friend groups. I had friends who were theater kids, who were band nerds, who were like this and that and everything. And so like, I never really felt like I fully belonged to any of them. So I kind of hopped around. And also, I also mentioned this before, the theater kids, as much as I loved a lot of those friends I had, they were all a little bit, there's the stereotype of like, you walk into the theater, the drama club room or whatever, and they're all just like, they're like touching each other. They're very touchy and very just like, I have more of a bubble than that. Valtube said, being a theater kid isn't a bad thing. Dagger said, I thought so too. Krista said, I typed the name before I even searched if I was right or not. Eglin said, no, I remembered the spelling. Unfortunately, it was a Danganronpa cosplayer. Quigita said, I love how insane we became as soon as the bunny drops trope came up. Crystal says, are you the type to pose those poses, the iconic poses to Eglin? Quigita said, because we're just that passionate about upsetting trope, that father-daughter marriage. Crystal says, who did you cosplay? Eglin said, I cosplayed Kokichi mainly. Dagger said, the manga is insane, so it's legit. Eglin said, Kokichi, Miyu, Junko, Monokuma, and Gonta once. Crystal said, the way I audibly said, oh, poo. Eglin says, yeah. Castle says, hot dating tip, probably don't date your daughter or the father, or father. I would not want to date either. I mean, my dad has passed away and I don't have a daughter. So like those aren't options, but even if they were, I would choose against them. So thank you, Castle. Eglin said, I used to have a handmade Monokuma hammer. Unfortunately, it broke later on. Crystal says, they are husbands, your honor. Valtube says, no. And says, I guess we're finishing this game in part 52, maybe? I mean, I guess it depends on how quickly we get through next time. Eglin said, "Aw, yeah, even worse, it was pre-game, Kokichi." Crystal says, "They are married after they retired. You cannot tell me otherwise." Crystal says, "Oh, dang, you on the rabbit hole." Quiggity says, "So real, they will become a grumpy but cute elder couple." Valtube says, "Holy crap." Dagger said, "Poor Logan had to read all of the bunny drop freak out." Quiggity said, "Whoops, my brain forgot I already did the command." Anyway, you should have seen the first Ace Attorney Investigations VODs. The final stream went on hours for the final testimony, which was surely the final testimony for sure. Valtube said, "He singed it. Was that the right one?" Crystal says, "Became yappers after the buddy drop laughing." Quiggity said, "We have a passion." Eglin said, "And I joined one of those LoganRobo group cosplay TikTok accounts." Jean said, "I'm doing drama next year for high school." Nice. I mean, I think the quality of a high school drama class will largely depend on the teacher. So I hope you have a good teacher. Dagger says, "We have our own prosecution over here." Castle says, "With all due respect to simian lovers, I want to tape his mouth shut." The bunny drop rage and the smarmy villain rage combined. Hot dating tip. Crystal says, "Your Honor, chat just got chat is just that great." Valtube says, "Ironically, in our theater troupe, the only touchy guy doesn't do theater." Yes, we have a guy who doesn't do theater in the theater troupe. Also going back to the on the subject of touchiness, and also going back to what I was saying about having a good teacher, ever since I graduated from high school, there have been, I think, at least 3 teachers who have been fired and possibly arrested for impropriety with students, and I'm pretty sure my drama teacher was one of them. Vera says, "Here to catch the raid." Sorry, I wasn't there for most of the stream. It's okay, Vera. Is your head feeling better? Like, that's more important. How are you now? Oak says, "Vera." Vera says, "Oh." Crystal says, "It's fine, Vera. How's your headache?" Quiggity said, "Vera, Vera, we yapped about buddy drops. We were passionate about our hatred." Vera said, "It's better. I got the headache medicine in me." And Vera said, I dropped it, and Kitty almost ran to bite it like a girl. No! There we go, 3 hours and 37 seconds. I caught up to chat for the first time of the night. Yeah. See, I'm lucky. My cat usually doesn't try to eat weird things unless I present them to her. But I'm paranoid about that. Anytime I try to take medicine, I'm like, I gotta hold on to this because if I drop this ibuprofen, I don't want landing somewhere in the cat trying it later, mistaking it for a treat or something. But I caught up to chat. Oh boy. For anyone who's lurking, who's still lurking after that long, rambling, meandering struggle to catch up to chat. Oh boy, let me give the rundown on the channel here. So as I was saying before, we stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays. We are alternating between this game, Ace Attorney Investigations 2 Prosecutor's Gambit, and Metaphor ReFantasio. Now, both games are in their late stages. However, Metaphor, I feel like we might actually beat it tomorrow. We are like that dang close. So I guess tune in for that. We had tried the final boss fight last time and failed at it. So it just depends on like how long the cutscene heck is after that. But I think that should hopefully be fun. So be sure to tune in for that. The next stream for Ace Attorney, however, is going to be on Sunday. I'm going to take a look through the... I am so lucky I only heard the sound. The sound still got me, but what's really about this one is how bright the thing is. And I had actually clicked out of OBS in order to check those raid suggestions. Thank you, Toilet Duck. I'm pretty sure I did save, but I will save again just to be sure. The sound still got me, but that one is really bad because like flashes really bright too on my screen. As much as I like light mode. Oh yes, to our new friends Dagger and Jean. I hope you don't judge me too harshly, but I am a light mode enjoyer. I'm sorry. Okay, I do need to check out the raid suggestions and see what we got here. Okay, so here, this one is the fewest number of viewers, and it's playing Mad Father, which is a game, it's a horror game that I have had recommended for me before. Although we also have a couple of streamers who are playing the Walking Dead Telltale game, and I'm actually kind of curious to check out that. Would you get, even though it's not fewest number of viewers, would you guys mind if we raid over to one of the Walking Dead streams instead? I mean, I know it's just a self-imposed rule, but I'd kind of like to check it out, perhaps? I will think about that while I am first gonna copy and paste our link tree over to YouTube. And I'm gonna race Crystal, see if I can do it before her. I'm pretty sure she did it earlier in the night, but if you were lurking over on YouTube, there is a link tree that has all of our social media stuff. It has a Discord invite link, TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. You're already on YouTube over there, but all the good stuff. No pressure on anything. I know like not everybody likes Discord, but it's there should you feel so inclined. And let's see. What was that? What was that? Pring. Oh, Valtube! thank you for the follow here on Twitch. I didn't know that you weren't already following here, so thank you. I really appreciate that. So now you're double followed up. By the way, I am getting close to the first step of monetization on YouTube fairly soon. Not like soon in like a couple of days, but you know, maybe in a month or so. I might be able to monetize to the point of adding memberships and like emotes and things like that. And so I'm just tossing it out there, letting you guys know. Letting you know, Crystal said got it a second early. Wait, oh, did you? Or did I get it a second early? Oh, you're angry at me. Yeah, I did it, yeah. Okay, I should read some chat here. I should read some chat and make sure that I'm fully still caught up because I think people posted stuff since I caught up. Eglin said, I had to switch schools because of something theater adjacent, unfortunately, broken heart. I feel like that might be where that type of stuff would happen. I'm sorry. Oak said, thank you for the very ... Wait, Simeon, what are you saying? The stream, it made me smile. Oak said, good night, everyone. Love y'all. Quick said, thank you for the very Simeon Saint stream. See y'all next time for surely beating Louise for real. This time, surely, the final time, surely. Valtube says, same. Dagger said, what game are you planning to play next? Oh, so Dagger, yes, because you're new here. So, because both of the two games we're currently playing are about to end very soon. We're going to play Deltarune chapters 3 and 4. We have already streamed chapters 1 and 2 like 2 years ago or something like that. And we're gonna try Date Everything, which was gifted to me as well. So we'll still have like an RPG and a visual novel. I assume both those games are gonna be relatively short. Other possibilities for games after that include, I mentioned these before, Persona 5 Strikers, 100 Line Last Defense Academy, Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. There's like a bunch of them, a bunch of good game possibilities, but none of those have been decided quite yet. So all that stuff is usually announced on Discord. And I gotta breathe for a second. I've been yapping so much. Vera says, thank you for the very... Oh, hang on, that wasn't enough breathing. I almost got lightheaded. This is another thing to our new friends. Sometimes yapping for 3 hours without breathing makes me lightheaded. There we go, delicious oxygen. Vera said, thank you for the very extraterritorial right stream. I don't know, I panicked. Quickie said, Deltarune and Date Everything after we beat Metaphor and this game. Vera said, Deltarune. Dagger says, oh yay. Valtube says, thanks for the Saints Go Marching In by Simeon Saint. So it was the right song then. Dagger said, Chris Deltarune will be happy, I'm sure. Vera said, oh absolutely. Jean says, hey Logan, I should have said this when you first asked, but I prefer the pronunciation of Jin. Okay, Jin. Okay, so thank you. As long as it's in the first stream. I'm glad you're getting this to me now. Because everyone else can tell you whatever I know you as when I first meet you does imprint on me like a baby bird, and I will know you as forever. So you prefer Jin. Thank you. It says, should have said it sooner. Sorry. No need to apologize. I'm sorry I was saying it wrong this time, but Jin, thank you. And Vera said, dude, yes, please, The Walking Dead. Crystal said, thank you for the very, I'm definitely not confessing my crimes right now in front of Prosecutor, Simeon Saint stream. And said, gosh, dang it. I was looking at my TikTok and it recommended a video from years ago where I was cosplaying Miyu, and it was on an angst video. Quickity said, good night, y'all. Valtube says, that sounds fun. Dagger with a hydrate command. I will do that. In fact, I can probably finish off this water. So yeah, I am going to go ahead then and pick that, pick one of the Walking Dead streams because I'm curious to check it out. And Eglin says it was either Miyu or Mei Hatsume, the same wig and goggles. I was a closet cosplayer. Was Mei Hatsume? Is that who is that? Is that the workshop girl on My Hero Academia? Is that who that is? I always get these things mixed up. Let's initiate the raid here. Crystal says, who we raiding? The Walking Dead. Valtube says, I wish I could be a pro cosplayer someday. I like know some people who are so crazy good at cosplay and like costume making and things like that. I am low-key jealous of it. Okay, I should have initiated the raid earlier. We had like 15 people to send over before. Now we only got 9. It serves me right for yapping. Let's see. Vera said, I want Logan to play The Walking Dead at some point. I do own a Telltale game, but it's the Batman Telltale game. I probably should have gotten The Walking Dead the last time it was on sale for cheap. Chris said, I'm gonna see my fave girl. Vera said, he's years late to playing it, but it's such a fun game. I feel like most of the games I'm years late to, but it's good because then you've all had a chance to play it and you know how it goes. Valtube said, I have cosplayed Luffy, Jotaro, and Phoenix, but they were very simple cosplays. Phoenix was the best one. You should post like photos in the Discord. Eglin said, oh, same, I'm trash at it. Dagger said, good night, everyone. Just gonna start my day over here in Asia. Oh, you're from Asia. Nice. Crystal said, did you save? I did save, so we are good. Again, so like I said, tomorrow's gonna be Metaphor, possibly our final Metaphor stream. We're gonna pick up Sunday where we left off here and hopefully beat the game. We will see. I love and appreciate you all. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. It means the world to me. I had a lot of fun tonight, even though I feel like we didn't make as much progress as we could have. But you guys are the best. Everybody, have a great rest of your night. Enjoy the raid. See you tomorrow for Metaphor and Sunny for more Saturni. Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye, 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 bye. Bye, bye. Bye. And for those watching the VOD and over on YouTube, good night as well.